Russian contractors supposedly connected with the country's defense ministry and deployed to Burkina Faso, now reportedly returning home to Russia.
The reason given for the partial pullout of Russian troops was the need to assist back home in the war against Ukraine. With jihadist attacks in Burkina Faso on the rise, the timing of the withdrawal could be bad news for its military ruler, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He seized power 2 years ago, promising to end the insecurity and turn to Russia for help after cutting ties with France. But it's not working. Some of the Russians appear to have been in the country to protect Traoré and keep him in power. Islamist militants killed at least 300 soldiers and civilians in the north of the country last weekend. The insecurity across the Sahel region is spreading.
The BBC's Will Ross. Czech explosives experts have detonated a World War II bomb in a major chemical plant in northwestern Czech Republic, where it was found last week. News and analysis at townhall.com. Seems that all is forgiven. A 4-year-old boy who accidentally broke a rare vessel at an Israeli museum has now been invited back to continue his visit.
Haifa University restorer Rory Shaffer lays out pieces of the broken Bronze-era jar. He tells the AP the repairs would be fairly simple, as the pieces were from a single complete jar, inviting visitors to get the feel of the antiquities while watching their steps.
It's important. I like that people touch. Don't break, but to touch things, it's important.
Hecht Museum Director Inbal Rivlin says the ancient jar was displayed at the museum entrance and that the boy's family had quickly left.
He didn't have even the opportunity to visit the museum. He was just stepping 2 steps. It happened, and then they went out.
I'm Charles Dilladesma.
And following the latest inflation update, stock futures are pointing to a higher Wall Street open. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Labor Day weekend Friday. 3-day weekend Friday, everybody.
Whoop,
yeah.
whoop.
It's going to be rainy.
Yeah,
but I'm not complaining.
It's going to be interesting, for sure.
I mean, we got a lot going on, and we got to finagle with this weather, but I'm not complaining about moisture. I can't do it.
No,
After what we've
there's
been through,
no way.
I can't do it.
I'm enjoying every second of it. I mean, yeah, it puts a little bit of a damper on things, pun not intended. But I'm trying to look up the score from last night.
Goddard fell last night.
Yeah, it was not great.
And then, of course, if you're listening to the Eastern Greyhound football here on 106.5 last night, they got the big victory over New Mexico Highlands. And to be honest, I was bored off in that game, and I don't remember the score, but they beat them pretty handily. It was by 3 touchdowns, I think. So.
Goddard fell to Carlsbad, looks like 22-45, which is actually not terrible, because when I tuned in, they had a score of 2.
Yeah, they had
a safety.
Yeah, and they got that early in the game, from my understanding.
But tough loss yesterday. But we move on, and Football Friday tonight.
That's right. Hopefully weather will, of course, don't forget, but once again, tonight, kickoff is at 6 p.m., not at 7 p.m. They're trying to get, because of the weather that they anticipate, which I'll tell you more about here in a bit, coming in today. They want to if they try to start for a 6, that gives them a little more time if they need to push back for lightning delays or anything. So they're hoping they can get at least a half of football in if they start at 6 tonight. So that's what they're trying to do.
I'm not sure if that's a storm that's moving out or a storm that's moving in, but there is to our west, right where the sun's rising, a very, very thick, dark cloud, which, as I was coming in this morning, looked remarkably like a mountain range. It's like the first time that Roswell's...
Was it a purple Mount Majesty?
It was it was a gray and black Mountain Majesty, but it was like one of the first times that Roswell's had like a mountain sunrise. You know, it's kind of a cool.
It's a
cool
virtual
thing.
mountain.
We make our own mountains.
VR mountains.
That's right. I know it rises from the east. Yes, thank you.
Not if you're standing on your head.
Yeah. Well. Early.
Somebody's thinking about that one.
I hate people who listen and have time to process my thoughts before or after I do.
How dare you hear his?
How dare you hear my thoughts?
Of course the Goddard game we did have a one internet dump at the beginning there, but they got that pretty up and running pretty quickly. Of course, the Eastern game they were having some problems. You know, game week 1. Of course, Doc and them they were in Las Vegas. That's where the game was last night for New Mexico Highlands. That's their home stadium. Yep. And they couldn't get it on the air on time because they were having issues with their computers, and they finally had to go to the phone. Fortunately, because Doc's old school, they finally got him a Comrex, which I don't want to get way into inside baseball, but Comrex is like high fancy equipment for us. Box, the old bag phone, is 1990s technology. Yep. Doc Elder is a old school individual there. So
he's sitting there with a crank on the side.
So when they had their high fancy Comrex not work on him, they pulled out his old bag phone to get it, and that's how they got on the air last night. So sometimes old technology does save your bacon every once in a while. But they were late, and then the weather, I guess, was fairly decent in Las Vegas,
right?
But in Portales, where the home radio station for where we pick the NMU Greyhound feed from is in Portales. And they had a bad storm, and so in the third quarter at some point, they had the thunderstorm knock power out at their radio station, which knocks the feed off, which knocks everything off. And so I'm like, so I play commercials. I finally get through, and they kind of text me, we lost power. And then they got it back up, and it was music for about a song or two. And then they got back to Doc and them. So, it was just weather, and everything was just wreaking havoc.
Just all over the place.
Night. So, but everything got underway and got done. So that we're thankful for.
How'd the Greyhounds do last night?
They got big time win.
Nice.
Like I said, they beat the Highlands. I can't remember the final score, but they won by like 3 touchdowns.
There you go.
It was pretty big. Now their next game will be Saturday night, 6 p.m. You can hear that. Not this Saturday night, not tomorrow night. Next Saturday night, 6 p.m. right here on Roswell Talk FM. They are at home. And I can't remember who they said. It was late and I was tired.
I get that. And it was extra late too, because when you do this like morning radio thing, you're up before the sun. You're up before most people. You're the guy that hands somebody the coffee in the morning. So to be up that late at night actually doing work.
Pull back the curtain about 9:30 is pumpkin time for me. I turned to a pumpkin about that time, and that's about the time we got done last night. So I'm a little tired by then. But weirdly enough, I slept maybe 3 hours last night. I get home because when I come home from work, I just can't. Good night, Martha. And roll into bed.
You can't. That's the thing.
I gotta unwind.
There's got to be like
decompress.
a 2 hour I'm coming down time.
Yeah, and so it was a long. So it was late before I fell asleep and everything else. But that's the weird part. Even though you're tired, but I'm like, because I literally got into bed and I'm just like, next thing you know, that's when your brain decides to say, you should do this with the food. Then 12,000 random thoughts about nothing important, really.
Right.
It's really dumb things like, I need to cook some more eggs. Things like that. Just weird stuff.
Yeah. I literally was like, well, I went to the store just on a hankering, went to the store and got myself some a gallon of milk and some chocolate quick.
Quick.
I just haven't had Quick in a long time.
Please tell me it's the powder.
It is the powder.
In the can.
No, but here's the thing. It is the powder, but they stopped making it in the metal tin. I looked online.
Is it like some plastic?
It's plastic, yeah. But I looked online. They stopped making it back in 1999 in the tins.
It's been a while since I've had Quick.
But I remember those tins, man. That was the best.
Because you need the spoon to pop the top.
It open, and that little bit of sugar dust would waft up.
Yeah.
It was cocaine for children.
Weirdly enough, baking chocolate used to come that way too, in a powder form like that. And it was at least twice as a dumb kid before I said, this is not the right chocolate.
That's how children learn to read. They're like, hold on. Nestle. Okay, this is the one. That was such a
can, same can.
Same can, of course.
I'm like, all right, chocolate milk. Whoa, not the same.
It's funny too how there's a whole sect of society that was like a military mess kit because you had to use your P7 to open
P51.
the P51 thing. I don't know what the terminology is, but your can opener to open the thing, and it was like rations.
Yeah, P50. There's actually that's a plane, but also the
P52 is what it is, I think, isn't it?
No, I think it's P51. The World War II vets, the little can opener thing they got. I think they call it a P52.
52. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the same as the plane. I think. Maybe I'm
or
wrong.
PK.
Maybe it's 51.
P51,
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, PK51. I'm going to look this up right now.
I've been old. It's been a while since.
People are screaming.
I was too young to get one. But when I was in Scouts, all the veteran dads.
P51.
Yeah, it was P51. I thought it was.
I thought it was a PK.
But all the dads, the veteran dads, always had one at camping trips. But I always wanted one, but I never had.
Honestly, I kind of want one.
Oh, they're very useful.
Oh yeah,
I've seen them in action. Those gadgets.
I got to bring it in.
They are Yes, you have your camp, but those things at a pinch, man.
I got to bring it in.
They'll save you bacon and many things.
So you can see my my survival kit I got on Temu.
You got a survival kit?
I did. Well, here's the
zombie survival kit.
No,
or what are we talking?
It's a general survival kit, but I'm pretty sure as I've kind of gone through the stuff in it, it's a survival kit for one very specific scenario, and it's to create fire. It is geared at creating fire. That's the one thing that I was going through. I was like, okay, so wax rope, fire starters, flint. This is a fire starting kit. Shovel and pick things so you can dig your fire pit. I mean, it's a fire kit.
If you do get food, you can cook it now.
There you go. You know
what the funny part is? The part that he didn't tell you is he tried it out. And the video is very reminiscent of Castaway with Tom Hanks. He's standing there, shirt was going, I have fire! I have fire! And he's standing there going, I have fire!
Yeah, and there was a guy next to me going, so do I, jerk.
And then he yells, let me have this. And then he goes inside.
Just give me my moment, all right?
And just when you're talking about it, I just instantly got the Tom, I have fire!
I have made fire! Wilson, look!
Yeah. But, so I don't know how that went down that rabbit hole. But football tonight, that was...
P50, the can openers.
The P51, yeah. But that even got down...
I like that you shouted out the clouds on the east side.
Are you really still on this? I've got it, okay?
No.
I made a mistake.
No.
Yes, that's the east, Roy. Okay. That is the east. But this is the east, and Juliet is the sun, okay?
That's not the point I'm trying to make.
That is the point you're trying to make. You're still on it.
No, because...
Go ahead. I'm just listening. Go ahead.
No, I just noticed that because when I was doing football last night, there was so much lightning everywhere.
Okay.
And it didn't rain once at all. So all the clouds that had built up are so heavy are all around us now, because you know how Roswell is. All the clouds are always around us. They're never on top of us.
I'm noticing now that those clouds are moving westbound from the east as we speak. So I think that is a storm that's incoming, not going out.
Yeah.
From the east, westbound.
Yes. This is why none of us are weathermen, by the way.
Weathermen.
Eastbound and down.
And down. Roll it up and trucking.
East side. Sorry. That's a little older for you guys, I think. Used to call me Crazy Joe, now they call me Big Man. Sorry, we started by East Side. All I can think of. I gotta watch that movie. I'll see if it holds up. Like, I haven't seen that movie. Stand By Me. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Stand By Me? Or Lean On Me?
Lean on Me, okay.
Stand By Me is the Stephen King
I've
one.
seen Lean on Me too, but that was back in that was the VHS years. So it's been a long
I watched it
time.
100 times. And I would like to know what that boy's up to. The boy that's kind of the troublemaker turns out to be the best student kind of thing at the end. I wonder if that I wonder what happened to that kid. Like, did he go on to act? Or like that was it. After Lean On Me, the kid went on and now he's like he's like a investment banker for some company or something. I was like, what happened to that kid?
Yeah, let's see. So it would have been Lynn Thigpen was in that movie. Jermaine Hopkins, was he the kid?
I don't remember the
trying
kid's
to think
name.
the youngest.
Did they have the character names?
No.
Oh, bummer.
But Jermaine Hopkins, I'm guessing he's the youngest. It looks like on here. Thomas.
I don't know. I'd have to. It's been a minute since I've seen this movie, and he had a nickname. But some of Morgan Freeman's finest work, I think.
True.
But I'm curious to see if that movie holds up. Like if you watched it today.
I'd have to go back and check it out. It's been, like I said, probably 30 years since I've seen that movie.
All I know is I remember the opening scenes from that movie, and the opening scenes of the movie they show. And then I get the hour going because I'm way rambling. But the opening scenes of the movie, they show like East Side High, which is an inner city. I can't remember if it's New York or Chicago, but it's an inner city school.
Mm-hmm.
And so they show it like in, I'm going to say the 70s or 60s at some point. It's real nice and everything. And then they start, I can't remember what they're talking about, but over time they're just showing this. They just show like this same hallway like in the 60s, and then it transforms to the late 70s, early 80s, whenever the movie takes place. And they literally goes from the dark decrepit. But as they're doing the faded over to that, Welcome to the Jungle plays on there. And I remember it was such a big deal when Guns N' Roses, because they were showing it all of a sudden, it's like, welcome to the jungle. And so then it shows like the modern day and how everyone's beating them in the, and kids are getting beat and all kinds of drugs and everything else going on. And
halls are trashed, yeah.
And then Morgan Freeman comes in and saves the
day. I think you could pull that off if you just did Roswell High. Because basically the core of it hasn't really changed that much. Just go to like the 300 hall and just...
If I remember that movie, I think it's a little different. Like there was just raping going on in the...
Okay, yeah, not a lot of that happening, but you know.
I mean, it was pretty bad if I remember right. I mean, it was just straight up bad. But
fair enough.
But let me give you the rundown. We're going to replay some interviews. Everyone's got Labor Day-itis, so no guests today. Yeah, Labor Day-itis. The Libiditis. Oh, we're going to work on that. So we're going to replay some interviews. Steve Alvarez with Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge joined us yesterday to talk about Dragonfly Festival, which is 1 week from tomorrow, next weekend, really, out at Bitter Lake. So we're going to play that interview for you here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview we had with Caroline Brooks from the Roswell Museum and Art Center and Amy McVeigh-Tejas from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, talking about Museum Day coming up September 14th. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview. Eli Rodriguez, Lone Depot, earlier in the month, joined us. He pops in once a month to give us great advice about buying homes and things. And so we'll have that we played that conversation. We're going to play that for you here about 9:15. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and take a look at that so very much in the news this weekend weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We'll be in the low 80s on the afternoon high, cloudy skies with a cold front dropping into the area. More rain and thunderstorms are expected for the overnight hours. We'll be in the mid 60s. Showers and thunderstorms popping up again through the day on Saturday. It looks like we'll stay fairly cool in the mid 80s. Just scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Labor Day and partly sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 68 degrees. Here in Roswell, humidity is at 76%. Winds are out of the north at 10 miles per hour. Flood watch has been issued for us. That will kick in at 10. He's fan to watch. That's good. But flood watch has been issued for today, 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. We are looking at decent chances at rain today, and they're talking an 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms for us today. Expect a high of only 80. We're not, like yesterday they were saying 86. Today they're saying 80. Boy, howdy, I'm not complaining about that. They're saying winds today will be out of the northeast 5 to 10. They're expecting rainfall amounts between 1/10 and 1/4 inch Could see more if we actually get a thunderstorm. Tonight, we are looking at a 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 64 degrees. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're expecting less than 1/10 of an inch of rain tonight, unless we do get a thunderstorm. Saturday, we are looking at a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy. High of 83 tomorrow. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Expecting less than 1/4 of an inch unless we get a thunderstorm. 40% chance at rain Saturday night. Mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 66. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, a 30% chance at afternoon showers. Mostly cloudy. 82 for a high. North winds 5 to 10. Sunday, 50% chance, or Sunday night, a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy. Overnight low of 66. And for your Labor Day, Monday, 40% chance at showers. Mostly cloudy. 79. 30% Monday night. And 20% Tuesday, 20% Wednesday next week. Highs low 80s Tuesday, upper 80s, pushing 90 by midweek, later part of next week here. All right, 7:23. We're going to take a quick about 3.5 minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Steve Alvarez from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, talking about, that's right, Dragonfly Festival. It's coming up again next weekend, next Saturday, actually next Friday. They're going to kick things off with a Dragonfly talk that evening, and then the Astronomy Club's going to have their star watching party, weather permitting, that night. And then all day next Saturday is going to be Dragonfly Festival. Tours even continue over into Sunday. But we're going to play that interview with Steve, telling you all about that next after this quick break. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel have been celebrating life for over 90 years. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory celebrates and remembers Joanne Bartlett passed away in Houston, Texas. Service will be held Saturday, August 24th, 9 a.m. at South Park Cemetery. Dixie Summers Gill passed away July 5th. Service will be Saturday, August 31st, 10 a.m. at McBride Veteran Cemetery. Tracy Foucher passed away August 8th. There are no services scheduled at this time. Brittany Brito passed away August 8th. Visitation is Monday, August 26th, 1 to 4 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Services will be Tuesday, August 27th, 10 a.m. at Ballard Funeral Home, and interment following the service at South Park Cemetery. Danny McFadden passed away August 2nd. Memorial service will be 10 a.m. Saturday, August 24th at First Baptist Church, and interment following the service at McBride Veteran Cemetery. LaGrone Funeral Chapel remembers and celebrates David Joe Stogden, who passed away August 15th. Visitation will be Thursday, August 22nd, 5 to 7 p.m., with rosary to follow at 7 p.m. at LaGrone Funeral Chapel. Mass will be Friday, August 23rd, 2 p.m. at St. John's Catholic Church, with interment following Mass at South Park Cemetery. This has been today's Remembrance, brought to you by Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel.
Hey Roswell, this is your last chance to get clearance pricing through Labor Day during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get our best deals of the year on all new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $3,400 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
It's hot, and Maze Lumber in Roswell is your BioGuard headquarters for your swimming pool. Maze is your headquarters for chlorine, including pool generators, and Soft Swim by BioGuard for your non-chlorine products. Maintain your pool this summer the right way for a season full of smiles instead of headaches. Let your pool sparkle all summer long with Maze Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell.
You can count on Maze Lumber Company.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender love and care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. Fergalicious. In fact, they're downright funky. Fergalicious. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660. Fergalicious.
The Labor Day savings event is on now at Roswell Honda with scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles like a 2023 Toyota Tacoma priced under $34,000 or a brand new Honda CR-V for under $36,000. In the service department, take $10 off your next oil change and tires are buy 3 get 1 free. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, August 31st from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to score a 4-burner gas grill and $200 Super Meat Mart gift card. The Labor Day savings event on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, Steve Alvarez back with us. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Mike. How's it going?
How's life at the refuge this morning?
It's a little hectic right now, as always.
It is arguably probably the busiest time of year out at Bitter Lake right now, because we are basically a week away from this year's Dragonfly Festival.
Next Saturday, September 7th.
Yeah, and technically next Friday things will kick off.
That's correct.
Because the one-day party always spills into 3 days. That's kind of how it goes into.
Exactly.
But we will kind of unofficially or officially kick off Friday night with they'll start with a Dragonfly presentation.
Karen Gaines, she did a lot of research at the refuge, and when we first found out we had that many dragonflies, they started doing a lot of different things out there. And she did, I think, her master's out there, and she's been being a guide.
This has been her laboratory for a good hunk of her life.
She really loves Bitter Lake, so she's a good presenter.
So she's going to kind of kick things off, and then, weather permitting, they'll have a star party afterwards. So bring your telescopes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool because when you get away from Roswell, even though it's not a huge town, all the lights
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, so you go out there and it's pretty dark. As long as the clouds stay away, we're good.
Yeah, absolutely. So the weather permitting, knock on wood here, and then Saturday it kicks off with all the tours, all the fun, and everything.
Well, let me let you also. It's the Roswell Astronomy Club.
They're the ones that
has been doing that, and they've been volunteering. They've been doing a great job.
Yeah, so they kind of make it. They give you that fun part, and so So Dragonfly Festival goes to the pond and beyond.
There you go.
There's
That's
a slogan
right.
for you.
That's
right. but yeah, it is really a fun weekend. If you've never come out to Dragonfly Festival, please make a point to come out this year. There's so much going on Saturday,
and everything's free.
That's it. Everything is free.
Yeah.
Now to take advantage of some of the stuff, you do need to pre-sign up.
Yeah, we're getting really busy. A lot of our tours are already booked up.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and try to reserve a deal, a tour,
yes.
Call 575-244-6256.
Yes, that is the phone number.
And if it's busy, just trying because we get a lot. We only got one phone,
and if you're driving or whatever, I can't write that down. If you go to friendsofbitterlake.org, click on the Dragonfly Festival link. It'll have the phone number there and the schedule, the tour times, and everything right there.
The other thing, we don't have advertising. I think we do on the website, but for the last couple of years, we've had a butterfly release.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I was like, is that full or is there still a few openings there?
We got quite a bit of butterflies available. We got about 200 butterflies to release. So they're monarch butterflies.
So if you have some kids who would like to sign up to do that, it's free.
It's a great photo op. The butterflies will be on the kid's finger, and then it takes off.
It's one of the highlights of the Saturday is to have the kids there, and it's really cool. And of course, they learn about the monarch butterfly and learn kind of their purpose and what what they're basically they're creating. This next batch that's going to get the herd to the next point.
Exactly, and there is some concern about the population. That's why you wouldn't think, but the monarchs, at one time they were even considering listing it as endangered, and we're like, wow, that's pretty crazy. But we're trying to make sure the populations come back. And,
absolutely. Well, and they serve such a role in the ecosystem, and they're very like if you're studying butterflies, they're very interesting.
They are. They're cool.
They got. Because they're so tough yet so frail at the same time. It's so interesting.
Yep, and their bright colors is a warning to the predators. If you eat me, you're gonna get sick. Cause, they eat milkweed, and that has a toxin in their body.
Yeah, their defense is they taste like crap.
Yeah, they do. Not only that, but you get sick. That's true.
Hey, that's a fine defense. No one wants to eat you.
And speaking of butterflies, we also have had one of the first projects other than the Dragonfly Festival that the Friends of Bitter Lake has done. We had a butterfly trail, and they planted native plants, milkweed,
things that encourage the monarchs.
Exactly. Not only monarchs, but other butterflies and stuff. But and if you're interested, you can always try to help in the spring. We do a spring planting, and in the fall, sometimes we do some cleanup. So let us know. Give us a call.
Absolutely. That's another, and because Dragonfly Festival weekend, it's a Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, big tentpole event. But it does not happen without the Friends of Bitter Lake organization.
Correct.
They are the volunteer organization that's kind of the official part of the Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge.
Yeah, exactly. We but on that note too is that on the butterflies is even though it's the Dragonfly Festival, we have used the festival to kind of highlight and let people know about the wildlife diversity.
Absolutely.
Bitter Lake is a biological pretty cool place. I mean, it is really amazing.
Well, every time I have Steve or anyone from Bitter Lake or Friends of Bitter Lake on, I tell people Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is kind of like the pilot flying day for the nature's world. It's home to study and to preserve habitat, plant life and wildlife native to this area. But the other role is all your migratory animals, birds, butterflies.
Oh yeah, that was originally.
It's a rest stop. They come. While they're traveling north or traveling south, they fuel up. They sometimes have their offspring. It just depends the time of year, and then they move on to their next destination.
Mike, you're good on the biology. We're going to have to hire you.
That's kind of what Bitter Lake is.
Yeah, it is really, really cool place.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's only about 7 miles from town. I mean, people here in Roswell probably don't appreciate it, or if they do, it's just you have this really cool place right next door. I
Absolutely.
mean, that doesn't happen all the time.
It literally is an oasis in the desert.
Oh,
That's exactly what
it is. Perfect.
When you watch the Looney Tune cartoons and Bugs Bunny's going through the desert and he comes across that thing, that's Bitter Lake.
And we see Bugs Bunny out there with the old jackrabbits.
That's right. Exactly. So that being said, Dragonfly Festival is really that one time a year where we let the public see parts that you don't necessarily get to see during the year.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, it's a wildlife refuge.
Yeah.
You are not the priority there. You are a visitor. You're a spectator.
Right.
You're just there observing life. You're not to engage or to interfere with it.
But we love everybody's support. That's the whole thing. We get public support through this, and it's been an awesome event. You just reminded me another event that people can come, not an event, but a part of the program. At 6:30, we have a bird program. They take you out to the closed areas to see them. And Bitter Lakes Refuge, we've got like over 350 different types of birds. And just recently, we had a spoonbill, a bird that normally lives in the subtropical area like Florida, Louisiana. And it got blown off course.
The path, yeah.
But it was pretty cool because it was hanging around the ponds and it was beautiful. Look, people think it's pink, so they think it's a flamingo.
Gotcha, but it's not.
No, it's not.
And that's the other cool aspect of Bitter Lake that just happens from time to time out there is the nature's anomalies there, where a species of bird or something, like you said, gets blown off the migratory, the Gulf streams messed up and they got separated from the group, and they end up resting there. And sometimes they'll stop and get rested up or lay offspring or whatever.
Oh, they'll stay there for a little while and then they move on.
Again.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I always tell people at the visitor center that sometimes people go, "What's out here?" It's because they just did not hit the right time. It's dead. It's hot. Nothing's around.
Sure.
And then they go, "Man, what's out here?" And then we tell them, "Hey, come at a different time because you never know what's going to show up."
Think of Bitter Lake in terms like how you think of weather. Like when it's hot and the hottest part of the day, the last thing you want to do is being outside and stuff.
Correct.
Animals are the exact same way.
Yep.
They do their work in the earliest parts of the day or at dusk or in the later parts of the day.
Exactly, or it's cooler.
Yeah, that's when the action happens.
Yep.
During the day, they're hunkered down, cooling off like the rest of us.
We're going to hire you, Mike. Mr. Biologist.
Yeah. And but that's life out there. And as soon as you understand that, then it all makes sense.
Oh,
then
yeah.
everything makes sense.
It's
You're there
cool.
just to, and really the fight, and this is like when they're talking about, and this is where the friends come in, and if you really want to get involved, become a friend. Like these projects he's talking about in the fall and the spring that they do. This is because we talk about the animal life, but the plant life is probably the bigger of the two battles. That because there's so many non-native plants and stuff that have ended up here that work well here because of our climate, but they work so well that they crowd out and fight out stuff that's native and things like that. So the battle going on within the boundaries of the refuge is keeping the non-native out and producing and protecting the native.
Exactly. That's part of our mission there. We do try to get rid of a lot of invasive plants. You know, we had when I first got here, we had a lot of salt cedar. It looked like a big forest of, we should have called Bitter Lake National Forest. There's so many, but over time they've removed quite a bit of it, and it's been
and the
good
natives
for the
starting
habitat.
to take back over again.
Yes, that's right.
But
exactly.
it's a process.
Oh yeah,
and that's kind of getting back to what you're saying before about coming out to Bitter Lake, and you come out at 4 different times a year at Bitter Lake. It's a 4 different experience.
And you'll see different animals at different times.
Mm-hmm.
The cranes, you're not going to see cranes right now.
Yeah,
you'll see them October.
A month or two out from the cranes.
Exactly. So, but another thing you can see is we do have an endangered plant called the Pecos sunflower, and it's because that they're blooming right at the time we have the festival.
Oh,
so
perfect
when you're
timing.
driving out there,
It knows when the show is.
Yeah, and if it hits just right, it is pretty cool because
Absolutely.
the refuge will be really pretty. You'll just see it like a sheet of yellow all over the marsh area, and most sunflowers, they'll bloom away from the marsh. But the interesting thing about the Pecos, it likes water and near the water.
Okay,
and
so it's going to be
alkaline
closer
soils.
to
So
the
it'll be
lake
right
there.
next to the marshes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
It's really, really cool. So,
Interesting. Well, this is with Dragonfly Festival. That's Saturday. Of course, we were talking about the different tours. So one of them's the Dragonfly Tour, and that's when you're going out and seeing the very species of dragonflies
they have
things.
special specialists, the guides.
Yeah.
They come here specifically to teach you guys about dragonflies.
And so those tours will focus heavily on that.
Yeah.
Now, we also have what's called the wildlife tours, and
Correct.
that kind of covers more
the management,
the overall
and
aspect of the
our
of the-
biologist, he'll tell you things about the refuge. Like right now, we do have a short water. One of our creeks is
That's all I was saying earlier. I was like, they're not complaining about this weekend. I know the rest of us are a little worried, but Bitter Lake's loving this weekend.
Yeah. So the biologists have been working heavily on getting, we've got some endangered species that live in the creeks, and in fact, they had to move some out of there and take them to Dexter recovery.
Well, I would
area.
imagine that as those water levels rise and low, that changes the chemical makeup of that water.
It does, the temperature,
and it affects
all
those-
that stuff.
That species, in
Yeah,
there. Plant
it does.
life and animal life. down
Exactly.
there, yeah.
So it's the refuge. People think, what do you do out here? What is out here? Well, we do a variety of things, like you mentioned, the invasive plants.
Mm-hmm.
We work the water to make sure we got water during the migration. We've got to watch all our endangered species. We got the public to worry about, the visitor center.
Sure.
So there's quite a bit of stuff going out there.
Well, and that's you're kind of that liaison to let the public access, because this is this is why Steve and his staff and the
That's
people
why
there,
I'm there.
You're there to allow the public to enjoy these beautiful things, but
Yeah.
also remind the public why it's here.
Exactly.
But at the same time, be also that go between for those researchers, the
Oh,
studiers,
yeah.
the scientists, the people that are truly learning and contributing to knowledge, the human history, the knowledge of what these animals and plants do.
Yeah, it's cool. And I've been doing this for about 30 years, and it's just amazing. I always like to remind the public is that, hey, this stuff is yours, not mine.
Sure.
This belongs to the American people, and you guys need to be so proud because there is so many cool things
Absolutely.
in
You're
the
just in
United
charge of
States.
taking care of it.
Yeah, you got all these national parks, you got the national forest, you got these beautiful refuges. I mean, the tremendous resources we have on this country is really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is come see these beautiful treasures
Oh,
here
yeah,
in our backyard.
it is.
And Dracula. Oh, one other tour, and it may be full, but you could try, is they do an early bird tour on Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's the
that one, and
it's
that
getting close.
tour focuses on birds, and
The
it's
birds.
early.
And normally what it is full, but give us a call or maybe even show up. What we'll do is we'll carpool and follow the people there.
We'll figure it out one or another if there's enough interest. Because
Exactly.
it is, but it's dark 30. You're getting up at 6:30 for that one. So
the
that's why
other
it's called
thing,
the early bird.
Early bird tour, exactly. And there's a lot of we focus this a lot on kids' activities. There's a fishing pole. Provided by the New Mexico Game and Fish.
Yeah, they're going to be out there doing it.
They've been
tradition.
great partners. They got some archery out there. We've got a bunch of little activities that they could do at some of the stations. A lot of exhibitors. This year I got a lot of vendors coming out. So we have Stellar's Coffee will have a trailer out there.
Awesome.
So you could have some early morning
coffee.
coffee.
And I believe every time you're purchasing coffee from them, you're helping out the CASA kids too. So it's
that's correct.
A double whammy helper there.
Exactly. It's cool. So we're excited to have them.
Usually scouts are out there with food.
Oh yeah, the scouts will be selling probably hot dogs and hamburgers. And,
excellent.
That'd be a fundraiser for them. They always love coming out.
They'll be very popular around.
Oh yeah. But I've been here since it pretty much started, and it's pretty cool to see that everybody's. When I ask for people to come over, they get excited about coming because it's such a successful event.
It is. It's a great. It's a fun. It is really the crown jewel of Bitter Lake's activities for the year.
It is.
And I hope you come out to Bitter Lake for Dragonfly Festival in the hopes that you learn what the rest of how awesome that refuge is.
And if it depends. Right now, I've seen a lot of dragonflies around, so you guys should be
good
pretty
year
good
for
at
those.
Yeah,
Huh?
bird life. We've seen a lot of waterfowl, but not as many shore.
I got a feeling these
songbirds
105 temps have probably deterred them from hanging out and stuff. So maybe this week or two with the weather, moisture might draw a few in.
Yeah, every year is different.
Yeah.
One year I thought it was a dead time for birds. And, man, they saw a variety of birds, and it was exciting.
This might be a blessing in disguise. A couple weeks of cooler temps and,
and then
a little moisture before Dragonfly.
Well,
even
with the rain that we just had, it filled up some of the areas, and we did see birds.
Yeah, you're going to see. Even plant life. I mean, you put a little natural rainwater on it, and
it just pops
overnight.
up.
It starts.
Exactly.
Well, look at your weeds in your yard. It does the same thing.
That's right. The other thing, Mike, I was going to mention is if you can't make it on Saturday, we have had Sunday tours.
Yes.
Now, on Sunday, it's just tours. There's not exhibitors. All the other stuff is on Saturday.
They're just Saturday.
Yeah. But Sunday, we have a variety of Dragonfly tours still available.
They start about 9, and then they usually wrap up about 1 or so in the afternoon.
Exactly. So we run about 3 tours, and but it's kind of good. It's a slower pace, nice. They've been fun, you know. So hopefully we'll see you.
Yeah, trust me. If you've never come out, check it out. Go to friendsofbitterlake.org and read everything. By the way, there you can see some of the cool artwork for this year's Dragonfly Festival.
I'm glad you mentioned that because Aubriana Gonzalez from Washington Avenue, 4th grader, was this year's winner.
Yeah.
We had about 500 entries. Mike,
I was one of the judges,
and so any of the kids throw rocks at your window for not voting for them?
Well, to be honest, it was not easy. They were so talented. These kids.
It was a lot of fun. I was glad to see it.
Hard, and there was grown people making arguments over back and forth on what they like better and this stuff.
So it was a cool process.
It was very cool. It's very cool. But yes, we had an amazing winner. But thank you to every single student that turned in. You made a bunch of people happy.
Oh yeah, it is. Everybody, we got a lot of comments about the artwork. And it's been fun. It's been a fun deal.
It is, and so when you see all the flyers and things like that, be sure to congratulate her and all the winners, because you can see all the other artwork and stuff too, because they have different categories by age group and stuff, and then they have an overall, which is your flyer and all that.
I'll be best to show. So and they get to win some cash too.
That's right. You do get cash money.
Yeah,
and they get
she
not
won
just bragging
about $100, and the friends of Bitter Lake provide that, and and I'll have I've had. I've been here for like 20 something years. And, we first started this Dragonfly poster contest, I've had kids at that time that are now adults.
Right,
and
now you're
they go, hey, how's that dragonfly thing? Or they still remember how exciting it was,
I think we should make some of them judges next time.
Well, we should. That's right. That's true. That's not a bad idea.
A full circle moment there. That'd be kind of cool.
That's right.
But please come out, and then of course I do want to put a plug in for the gift store there at Friends of Bitter Lake, or at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. That is run by the Friends of Bitter Lake.
That is.
And that whenever you go in there and buy books or buy T-shirts or buy gifts from there, you're contributing to conservation projects and everything it goes right back to Bitter Lake Wildlife.
And the Friends have done a wonderful job running that bookstore. Right now, Jana Birch, she's our manager. We had Barbara Shear, she used to run it too. Together, they have made that bookstore just awesome. I mean, the items you get there are things that you normally can't get anywhere in local. To
be honest, it rivals like a Smithsonian gift store.
Yeah,
like if you go to like a Smithsonian museum and you see much stuff, if you've never been to one, there's a ton of stuff in those things. It rivals something like that.
And as you're probably well aware, it's got a lot of natural nature stuff, from birds to plants to insects to fish. Yeah. I mean, it's really, and they get some stuff that you can get for Christmas because there's some cool stuff.
I'm about to say, these are great gifts. For stuff like if you're looking for cool toys for kids that are educational but actually fun and kids that want to play with, they've got stuff like that. But if you've got like the books, like if you do have a reader, a nature love, there's going to be a ton of that. Clothing, everyone loves T-shirts and stuff and hats, and if you're doing Bitter Lake local stuff and someone has a local thing, get them
the T-shirts. We get comments about that all the time. They say, "Man, your T-shirts are so."
You're a walking billboard for Bitter Lake, and it's a great thing, so we'll appreciate that.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, like if you have family, friends come visit Roswell, Bitter Lake's a perfect destination to take them because you can go to the bookstore, you can go to the visitor center. They got a really nice orientation film, and then you can take the drive, a 7-mile drive around the marsh area.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, come do it. I want to share this real quick since you're here, and I was so the other day I was at my Roswell Chamber of Commerce board meeting, and so we were having that meeting, and we always get reports from various, and we have County Commissioner Dara Dana gives her report every every meeting and all that, and so she was giving her report, and she was giving an update on some of the road work and things.
Yeah,
and this is how big a deal Dragonfly Festival is. They've got some work that they need doing out there and all that.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, you got to move that, delay it, whatever happens. That would have to be A-OK for next weekend when Dragonfly Festival. If you don't have it right for that, we county commissioners aren't going to hear the end of that. So she was kind of talking about the meetings, like, no, you got to get that right for Dragonfly Festival because if you mess that up that day, we're going to have problems.
You just remind me how funny it is because we had 1 year had not done the Dragonfly Festival because it runs by volunteers and we didn't have enough. This is when we started going. We didn't have enough volunteers to really make it happen. So the manager said, "Well, we can't do it this year." Well, the following year, boy, we got a lot of phone calls saying, "Hey, a lot of volunteers." We got a lot of volunteers. They did not want to see that thing canceled.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
And so, if you like, what's the big deal? Out next weekend, see it for yourself.
Yeah.
Try to get a tour if you can. Go online, call and see if you can get a tour book. But if you can't, please come out anyway and enjoy. And who knows, maybe you can get bumped. Sometimes if there's a someone doesn't show or something, they'll get in there. But please come out. Come out Saturday. Bring your kids. Sign up for the butterfly release for the kids there.
Exactly. A lot of butterflies. You need to get out there.
Come out there and enjoy. Enjoying the archery with the kids. You know, that's the other beauty of it too. This is that sportsman and nature working together.
It's a good family thing. I tell you,
outdoors people and environmentalists work together. That's where because they understand the land better than everybody else, and that's what this event's about. And it's about all that.
Yep.
So come see it.
It's cool.
Come be a part. It is a melding of all of us taking care of and loving the land and appreciating the beauties it has.
And all the volunteers, like we got the people that helped us. We can't do it. We have volunteers that work from other refuges. They have known about our festival, and like when I ask for help, they just jump on it because they are so excited to come and help. So It's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah, come see the biggest weekend
that Bitter Lake has every year. And again, it's next weekend. Friday night kicks off with the Dragonfly Talk and everything. That gets underway about 6 or so, I think.
6:30.
6:30.
There, I would say 5:45.
Okay.
Come first serve.
Sure.
And we only got
Limited
like
number
50
spots.
And
seats.
it's once it's full, it's full.
It's full. And then, weather permitting, our astronomy club will take to the stars and go check out some stars and planets and things. And then Saturday morning, like I said, 6:30, kind of kicks off the early bird tour. And then right after that,
it's from 8 o'clock,
everything else
everybody,
goes on
every
from
hour.
8 o'clock on. And then
The festival itself, the bulk of it's from 9 to 4.
Gotcha.
Actually 9 to 3 because by 3 o'clock things start kind of peaking.
Sure. And a warmer part of the day, people are ready to go home at that point, I think. And then, of course, Sunday morning we'll be doing again. They'll fire about 9 o'clock. Again, friendsofbitterlake.org has got all the information. If you want to book a tour direct, you can call 575-244-6256. Again, 575-244-6256 to reserve a early bird or wildlife or dragonfly tour. Or sign up for the monarch butterfly.
And if you don't even sign up, normally it's for kids, but we do have some else in fact, if we have extra butterflies left over and you are in
gotta be
butterflies,
released. We need
you can come and do it. So it's a good photo op.
It is, and the kids love it. It's a lot of fun and it's pretty. Yeah, when you see hundreds of butterflies get let off at the same time, it's kind of neat.
It is, and we've seen. It's interesting because after everything's faded and over the season, we'll be walking the butterfly trail, and then you'll see a monarch butterfly flying around. You're like, oh, cool,
As long as that thing that doesn't happen, that happens on TikTok videos sometimes. You ever see that where like a kid releases like a frog or something, and then a big right away.
What's funny is like the butterflies. A lot of times they don't hang. You barely put them on the finger, and then it takes off.
Gone.
And the kids are like, their face is like, what happened? It's so
You just released it. You didn't want to hang out. Well, they kind of have a mind of their own.
And it's pretty cool to watch them because even that, like just watching the kids like doing the it's so hilarious to see their faces.
Yeah, come make memories. Come make family memories. Come see a side of our country that maybe you don't see very often.
Yeah.
And come, and who knows, maybe this inspires for more family outings. And and if you loved everything you see next weekend, make sure you come out for Cranes and Cocoa in the fall. That's another awesome experience. Time to, and then check back each season. Come back in the winter months. Come in January. Come back in the spring when that's another busy time of year too. There's lots to see. So friendsofbitterlake.org. Everything you need to know about Dragonfly Festival, including tour times and sign-ups and all that good stuff too.
Thanks, Mike,
Thank
for
you,
all
Steve.
your help.
Anytime. I'm sure you got about 10 more fires to stomp out, so let you go do that. His big wide shoes to stomp out all them fires.
There you go.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. Hey, so long.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
It is 8:48. Let's pause for news. Your Chaves County sports update. Your Red Apple report and commercial break. Don't go away.
FM, KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The latest inflation report fueling speculation of a pending interest rate cut by the Fed following 3 years of painful higher prices. The Commerce Department says prices rose just 0.2% from June to July. Same time, Americans stepped up spending by a vigorous 0.5% from June to July. That was up a couple of notches from the previous month. Although she has pulled a 180 on a number of critical issues, Vice President Kamala Harris insists that is not flip-flopping. The Democrat standard-bearer asked about that during her first formal campaign interview. The interview recorded for playback last night on CNN.
Since her presidential run in 2019, Harris has reversed positions on fracking and decriminalizing illegal border crossings.
Let's be clear, my values have not changed.
She told CNN that she does not support a ban on fracking.
We can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
On the border, Harris said there must be consequences for illegal immigration.
I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize the problem.
Greg Clugston, Washington.
The latest Rasmussen poll on the presidential race gives former President Trump a 2-point lead over Harris, and that's in the immediate aftermath of the Democratic National Convention. Former President Trump proposing free for all IVF treatments, and former Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard thinks it's a worthwhile goal.
I can't tell you how life-changing that would be for so many families.
Gabbard at a Trump rally yesterday in Michigan. The former president also visited Wisconsin, where the race is said to be very close. On Wall Street this morning, stocks in positive territory so far. The Dow is up 90 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index ahead 189, and the S&P is trading 40 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your ears to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Starting tomorrow, Israel will pause some of its military activity in Gaza, allowing Palestinian youngsters to be vaccinated against polio.
Ever since traces of the polio virus were found in Gaza's sewage water 2 months ago, it's been a race against time to stop the highly infectious disease from taking hold. The war's disrupted childhood vaccination programs and left most people displaced and living in crowded, insanitary conditions. Now the World Health Organization says it's agreed 3 consecutive 3-day pauses to begin its ambitious campaign. Both Israel and Hamas say they're supporting it.
That's a BBC's Yolande Nell. Yemen's Houthi rebels have released footage showing them boarding and sending explosives on a Greek-flagged tanker that was earlier abandoned after being repeatedly attacked in the Red Sea. The Houthis can be heard chanting, "God is the greatest, death to America, death to Israel, curse the Jews, and victory to Islam." Townhall.com. A dispute over guns at the Texas State Fair will be going to court.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed a lawsuit seeking to block a ban on firearms at the sprawling State Fair of Texas, one of the state's biggest annual celebrations. Fair organizers earlier this month announced a ban on guns after a shooting last year on the fairgrounds in the heart of Dallas. The move drew swift criticism from Republican state lawmakers who have greatly expanded gun rights in recent years. Paxton, a Republican, threatened to sue if the ban was not repealed. He said the ban infringes on gun owners' rights. Keith Peters reporting.
The cost of borrowing for a home has fallen to its lowest level in more than a year. The average rate for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage has dropped to 6.35%. That's according to Freddie Mac. And a year ago, the rate was averaging 7.18%. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Labor Day weekend Friday.
Indeed, Labor Day weekend. And the sun is shining. It's nice and warm out to wrap up the summertime season. You feel it? Ooh, the end of summer's in the air.
I'll go partly cloudy.
It's also the last weekend for the outside pool.
Ooh.
And we've sort of been putting it off and putting it off. Putting it off.
Hopefully you get a window that you can swim in.
I'm hoping, but they'll take the inside pool.
Okay.
In a pinch. They just like to float. We all float down here.
That's something I haven't gotten my pool all year.
Really?
I have not.
Man, you missed out, dude. Because
my wife's been in once or twice. I just haven't.
There's just something about it literally just it takes you back.
This weekend I'll probably find a window and get the toe in.
When you're in a pool, and this is something I've experienced with my grown adult friends who in most cases are actually several years older than myself. When you get into a pool, you revert back to like 7.
Yeah.
You just start doing like I want to see if I can still do a handstand. Somebody else is doing a flip to see if they can still do flips. You do that thing where you hang, and I don't know if you've ever done this, but I totally did. You hang your feet on the side of the pool, your feet up to your knees, and then you I had to hold my nose because otherwise the water would just rush into my face.
Sure.
Hold your nose and then just lay back to where your back is on the side of the pool.
Yeah.
So you're like a bat, but underwater.
I know that. I haven't done that one, but the rolls and the handstands, I can still do them, by the way.
Yeah.
At least last year when I did it.
Or,
I haven't been in the pool this year, but yeah.
Or just floating. Just floating.
Yeah,
there.
I do that. That I like.
I appreciate a lazy river that doesn't allow children. There's certain places that have like adults only water parks. And I'm like, that's a great, or they have like adult days. That's a great idea. Because if you've ever been to a lazy river that's open to the public, it's anything but. Kids are like doing races, and there's like a bunch of like, everybody's trying to get the few like donut floaties.
It's fine. It just depends how much alcohol's involved.
Fair.
Like, because you get like the young adults, you're 20, 30, late 20s, and they still think they're, 21.
Right.
And then they drink and act accordingly. And to be honest, that's not that lazy of a river either.
Right. Well, when I say adults only, I'm talking about just so that there's not kids clogging everything up. Because my experience, at least over the last year or so, when I go to a lazy river, is I have to make sure my son's not drowning. So I'm chasing after him the whole time.
Sure.
Rhiannon's coming up the rear, usually smacking me in the head with a floaty thing, and it's anything but lazy.
He just wants a weekend by himself at the lazy river.
Really,
That's
really
That's
do.
what he really wants.
I really want just one lazy river weekend. There's a place in Hobbs called the Core. It's like their aquatic center, and it's open year round, and they do the adult days thing.
Okay, so adults only.
Yeah,
adults only, please.
Adults swim.
Yeah.
Which there's be no alcohol involved in that situation because it's a
city.
Yeah, it's a city thing.
City facility.
So
maybe I'll get in the pool this weekend. Maybe we'll see how the weather permits and how my schedule goes.
I would say
I don't have a lot going on this weekend. I mean, I have a thing Sunday, but I really have, by design, don't want much going on this weekend because I've been busy. I'm ready for some downtime.
I would just say at least the obligatory dip just to make sense of the cost of the homeowners association fees that you pay and all that.
My wife was in it once or twice this summer. I was not, but she was off and stuff.
You do that thing that
she would have like friends come over, like some of her work friends or whatever, and they'd come over and take a dip for a couple hours. And stuff. So she did that a few times during the summer.
It's a hard sell on a weather weekend like this, but at least you won't have to put sunscreen on.
True that.
Now, do you sunscreen the dome?
I have not, except for on vacation.
Okay, like when you were on the ship.
Yeah, when I was on the ship and stuff, when I was going out and about, I did.
Did you sunscreen the head, or did you just wear a hat?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
Yes and yes. Both. I did.
Both.
Depending on, well, not at the same time.
Okay.
But at various times.
You don't understand. When you're out there in open ocean, it's just direct sunlight.
That's right.
And it reflects off the water, too, so you got it coming from both angles.
And I was a little conscious because of I've only been bald for months now, so I'm still learning the ways of the bald.
The ways of the bald.
So I'm a little overcautious. I'm like, but since then I've come, kind of where I'm a little bit more just fine. I don't wear sunscreen on a daily basis.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
But then again, I'm not outside a whole lot. I kind of dart in between buildings.
But you're also not doing dome wax or anything yet.
No, I'm not going that route. That's I don't want anything that's more work. I'm not about. So no, I'm not doing that. I run it real quick. I want to mention this because I saw it yesterday, and I guess it's been out for a few months. But there is a reality show on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Called The GOAT.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it.
I have not until yesterday.
I've not seen it, but I've heard of it.
So The GOAT, if you're not familiar, it is a reality show. It's a reality game show celebrating reality stars. So what it is, it's hosted by Daniel Tosh, of all people.
Really?
Tosh.0 fan. I guess he's got nothing going on since there's no Tosh.0 no more.
Not according to Pluto TV.
Yeah, new Tosh.0. But he is, and he's the host, and I guess it's like 25 years of reality stars.
Okay.
Now, in all fairness, I saw the trailer and I didn't recognize none of them.
But you're not really in that zeitgeist.
Well, I mean,
you don't dip a toe into
it depends. Like there's certain ones. Like if you catch early Survivor stars or Big Brother ones, I'm probably gonna know them. But
so I'd be curious to see what happened to the pair of brothers in the Charlie Bit My Finger video.
Yeah, I don't know.
For example,
and they kind of, and if you watch the trailer, it's kind of a joke. It's like, well, and they basically hold them up in a mansion for 2 weeks, and they get to do various things, games, and it's kind of like if you ever watch that Claim to Fame celebrity show or for real life, it's that with competitions, and they compete for $200,000. I think is actually they get a prize money of $200,000. So. But apparently, all 10 episodes or what of it are up on Amazon Prime right now. I just heard of it yesterday. It's called The GOAT.
Trying to see who's in.
And to be honest, I'm not sure if it's good or not. Like I saw the premise. Like I think if you like Tosh.0,
right,
and you like Tosh's humor, you can probably stomach through it.
Well, he did a whole thing on his show about like somebody who went viral with a video, and he would then do an interview with them. It sounds like basically an extension of that.
Well, it's a whole but it's
Devon Rogers, Paola Mayfield. Nobody I'm familiar with
I did see one person in the cast, but I'm not sure if they're a contestant or just on the show. William Hung.
Oh, well, I haven't seen him yet. Let's see.
He was on a casting. I saw a cast of the show.
Joey Sasso, is that Will Sasso? Yeah, there's William Hung.
Yeah.
Special guest.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he's a contestant or he's
I don't
like
know
hosting a
really
competition
any of these people. Of course,
I don't know him either.
It's one of those like, oh, once you see their work, you're like,
and that's
okay.
what I'm wondering. Like if they say from The Bachelor, I'm like, okay, now I kind of remember who that is. Or who
I'd be curious to check it out.
Yeah, I've got so much in the queue
canon,
right now
right.
that I'm kind of it's going to get there eventually, but might be worth a check out.
Speaking of, I finished Bratz last night.
Yeah, good.
Great.
Yeah,
really good. There was, I don't want to spoil the very last thing that happened, but it almost, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it almost kind of left it open for like either like an added interview or maybe a sequel. I don't know.
Always keep them wanting more.
It was an interesting little development right at the end.
Speaking of that, and then I got to get the hour started.
Yep.
I finished Loudermilk yesterday.
Oh.
And they better have a fourth season.
They leave you hanging?
Oh, it's all kinds of open-ended.
Oh.
They leave you all kinds of open-ended.
Yeah, I
the main
hate to see
character is a new person that might be moving on in life. They just left you at a spot where you're like, there are so many unresolved issues.
Well, in those situations, usually like the creator will be like, all right, we're gonna do a wrap-up movie, like a 90-minute.
Well,
here's everything you need to know about.
I think they
what
would be
happened
doing
to-
a disservice to that show if they did that, because the way it's written and it's done, and it's really, it's got the hint of the Farrelly brothers, but it's a little darker too.
And I have read that Peter Farrelly he has another season in mind.
Good.
They're shopping for a network essentially.
Oh, Netflix.
Well, no,
Where
that's
they
I
can
guess
find the
they
Watch
don't.
Rip.
They didn't want to do another season, so they're shopping for another network.
Oh, was
basically.
Loudermilk on Netflix originally?
Well, it was whatever was on.
It's on Netflix now. I didn't know if it.
Yeah, it's. I think it was them or whoever the network that
felt like it was an
originally aired
IFC
them.
channel show or something.
It might have been that, yeah. But they just said they weren't interested in another season, and they said, well, we're going to take the show elsewhere.
It's a good show. It's well written. It's funny. It's like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but a little less cringy and a little bit smarter humor.
Speaking of, if you're interested in something like that, have you checked out any of What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes, that's an all right show.
I love that show.
I watched it pretty good for a while, and then I got sidetracked and I picked it back up. But yeah,
the
I
new
watched,
season is I think it just
I
wrapped
watched like
up.
most of the first season. I didn't see much past that, but yeah.
The new season, and it's I would say as good as one.
Yeah.
Like it kind of fell off a little bit in the story, but it's as good as the first season.
Yeah. I got to get back into Shoresy and all that too. I'm like way behind on that.
Same. I haven't watched any of Letterkenny at all.
So behind. Yep. All right, we're going to replay our interview we had with Caroline Brooks from the Roswell Museum and Art Center and Amy McVeigh-Tevis with the Historical Society, talking about Museum Day, which is coming up September the 14th. 7 museums, all 7. They're going to be open, having a one-day deal where you come and visit them all, could win prizes, all kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about that with them in just a few.
Nice.
But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then on the other side, we'll play our interview with the ladies talking Museum Day. Don't go away.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? It's simple. Great selection, great savings, and great people. Right now, the lot is loaded with all new Hyundai models, including Elantras, Santa Fe's, and Palisades. And with 0% on select new, 5-year warranty, and 3 years free oil changes on all 2024 models in stock. Now's the time to trade up and save big. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Come check out the all-new and used car supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with the new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices, so come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
C.S. Lewis once wrote, "If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world." At this time in America, things just don't feel right. There's so much anger and negativity and sadness. We seem to be tearing each other down rather than trying to build each other up. Many people are either being medicated or self-medicating to numb themselves or to simply escape from the problems of this world. Our world is just plain and simple broken. The good news is that the plan of God from the beginning is not broken. God's plan is perfect. perfect. He sent his perfect son to die on the cross for our sins to make us right again. He didn't come to make things perfect in this life, but with a message that if we follow him, things will be perfect in the next one. He calls for us to live a life of meaning, loving God and doing his will by loving and serving those around us. So join us as we strive to know Jesus in this crazy world as we prepare for that perfect world to come.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The Labor Day savings event is on now at Roswell Honda with scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles like a 2023 Toyota Tacoma priced under $34,000 or a brand new Honda CR-V for under $36,000. In the service department, take $10 off your next oil change and tires are buy 3 get 1 free. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, August 31st from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to score a 4-burner gas grill and $200 Super Meat Mart gift card. The Labor Day savings event on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Museum and Art Center, Caroline Brooks with us, and back from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVeigh is back with us as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How's life at the museums today?
Just going well.
Going
up. Yeah.
Hunky-dory?
That's right.
Hunky-dory. Well, I got a feeling, if we're getting rain this weekend, it's a good time to go indoors and see museums.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got an event coming up in a couple of weeks, but you don't have to wait till September to go to these museums. You can come out this weekend and check them out.
Exactly.
So.
That's exactly right.
But yes, what we're here to talk about is last year we had, I guess we'll call it first annual. I don't know if it's officially that annual, but we had our first annual museum day. And the major museums of Roswell, the Roswell Museum and Art Center, Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, the UFO Museum, the Anderson Bethany Museum, the Miniatures Museum. Anderson Museum, sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking at Anderson Museum, the Miniatures Museum,
yes.
The Walker Aviation Museum,
yes.
the museum at NMMI, McBride Museum. Did I get them all?
You got them all.
Okay,
Did you
excellent.
mention it?
Yes.
Yes.
Good
job. Good job, Mike.
And
Checked them
all
off.
are back on board for this year's
Absolutely.
second annual Museum Day, which will take place on Saturday, September 14th. And it's an all-day event. And what we're encouraging folks to do is come out and see your museums. Come see what you got in your own backyard. Now, we're incentivizing it a little bit for you. If you go and make the rounds and get your passports filled out, you can get prizes at each of the registered to win prizes at each museum. But that's an off thing. That's just a prize for doing something you're going to really enjoy. I think that what you're really going to find out is we got a bunch of cool stuff and a bunch of cool museums in town is what you're going to find out. And whether you're hanging out at the Historical Society or going through the Roswell Museum and Art Center or hanging out at the Anderson or maybe one of those times when you're getting on a plane, you're like, maybe I should actually walk into the Walker Aviation Museum. Go make Saturday that day. And I guarantee you're going to be surprised at how much cool things we have in your own backyard. And that's kind of what you guys have been telling people for years, but now we're trying to kind of get it in a broader thing here.
Agreed.
So I guess we'll start with you, Caroline. Do you guys have any special things planned, exclusive that Saturday out at the Roswell Museum and Art Center?
I know it's hard to keep track of all 7.
I know. I'm
There's
trying
so many. Yeah. So we're gonna have take and make art. Now, normally we have make and take. So you make it there and then you take it with you. In this case, we're gonna have it ready to go.
Okay. And
so
then you
can
go
take
home and
it
make
with you and make it. Yeah. So we're gonna
have like a kit.
Yes, exactly. And that way we don't hold up people because we know they have to get to all 7 locations.
And parents love kits.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? When you can get your kid an entertainment in all one package, that's a parent win right there. So moms, dads, that alone be enough to get you in the door.
Yeah. And the kits are making their own little miniature gallery.
Oh, cool.
So they'll have little pieces they can place in the gallery, and it's a little structure they can build.
Design,
and everything.
layout.
Yes. Which in the old days, which I'm getting up there, so we used to do that ourselves. So anytime we laid out an exhibition, we actually had miniature kind of architectural 3D models of the galleries, and we would make miniature artworks, and we would place them. And you could lean down and look through the door. and see how it lined up and what the experience
kind of
was.
like in the movies when you see architects design a building and they got that little model that they're all
so
execs are
much,
playing with.
all of us, whether it's architect or museum, we're all doing it on the computer. But back
cool.
then,
back then it was models and styrofoam. You're cutting cardboard out and everything else.
That was us. Yeah.
I wish we'd go back to that. I mean, I love art and craft time. It's hard to be mad when you're gluing things together and cutting and coloring. It's just hard to be mad.
And then we also have planetarium shows that day. They're all free that day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You know, please check out that. We forget that planetarium's there, and it's right in your own backyard, and they do things more than just show, shows that sync to Led Zeppelin or whoever. They do other stuff.
Which is cool too.
It is very cool, but they do more than that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, Jeremy and I were talking the other day, and we've focused a lot on space, and that's what always is going to be our primary focus. However, there are other cool shows out there. So, like this year, we're going to have a dinosaur show.
Oh, cool!
About the history or the creation of flight. So, beginning with pterodactyls and all of that.
That'll be cool to see on the planetarium.
Yes,
because it's such a unique viewing experience. So whatever you do in there is going to be cool. And so please come check it out. Come see it. And if Saturday the 14th your first time, then so be it. But please put this on there and definitely. And by the way, the copious amounts of art and it's constantly changing and evolving. So so you come in from month to month. You're going to see different exhibits each and every time you come in.
We have a show opening tomorrow, which is going to be highlighted during Museum Day. So it's Esther Alaya, and it's the title of the show is Kosh Minlaka.
Okay.
Which is of Assyrian language.
Okay.
And which is a country that no longer exists. There's a diaspora, the people who left Assyria in the early 1900s. There was a genocide, etc. But anyway, the people all over the world. So one of the descendants is Esther Elia.
Okay.
And she has a show opening tomorrow, and she's a recent MFA graduate out of UNM.
Oh, wow.
And so our curator, Erin.
So she lives in New Mexico.
She lives in New Mexico. She's out of Albuquerque.
Cool.
She's recently had a baby. But tomorrow she'll be there, and her show's going to open, and she's going to give a short gallery talk.
So that's a little local and a little national, international all in one
so
thing.
she'll be present tomorrow for our opening, but then in 2 weeks when we do the museum day, Erin, on her behalf, will be talking in the gallery about the work on display. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. And that's the great thing is that you come and see, and what I love about art is because you can get 20 people in a room looking at it and get 20 different answers of what they feel about it. And that's what I love about art. And you've got a whole building, couple buildings, full of that stuff.
Yeah.
And people don't walk in and check it out.
And this particular show is different. Like sometimes people have expectations. They're like, oh, it's just going to be a landscape painting on the wall. That's what the museum is covered with. No, we do have that, which is gorgeous.
Sure. Yeah, the traditional what you think.
Yes, but we have many other things. And Esther's work is large tiled sculptures and these huge kind of mural-sized paintings and her own
art
aesthetic.
Hang on a
it's
wall.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. You know, it's art is. And yeah, I mean, sure, you can get into culinary arts and all that stuff, but I mean, yeah, art is art. I mean, it's yes, we think of paintings, and sure, that is the traditional art, and because that's a very popular medium to express one's feelings. Really, that's what art is at the end of the day, is people expressing their feelings in some way, shape, or form. And so yes, by sculpture, and with technology, that's constantly evolving. I imagine, who knows, 20 years from now, you might walk into that museum and see some digital kind of things that are done solely computer based and all that, because that's the medium that society's using now. You know, I think the museum evolves with the time. You know, it's what is there, and so yes, you go ancient. You know, there could be stuff hundreds of years old, but then at the same time, the cutting edge in art is also hanging on the walls or sitting in the middle of a room somewhere, and that's art, and it's more than than you think sometimes. And sometimes we got to remind ourselves that we pigeonhole things in a certain way, and that gets you an idea how to navigate life in some aspects, but you miss so many things sometimes by saying, that cover book you painted there is a little bit different than what's actually inside that book there. So that's what September 14th is all about. For you to come and see that, and guess what? You've got 7 different museums to try and learn and experience new things. I know, like Amy, you guys go all out. When we do Historical Society that day, we get people that come in, and we get the great tours of the J.P. White House, and we're going to be doing that. We're going to have special things. I know Amy blesses every person that walks through the door when we go there, and that's what's going to be happening on the 14th at the Historical Society. I know that too.
Well, we're really excited to have John and Sharon Drewston and their check wagon.
Yeah.
He's past board member, and I'm so glad they were available. I think he diverted some travels just for this
to make
event.
this special. So what's he going to be doing? Explain to people what he does with the chuck wagon.
So, for those who are unaware, I was introduced many years ago. I got a call early in the morning and said they had a new friend they wanted to introduce me to. So we got up early, and it's Miss Indiana. So they brought Miss Indiana into their life. She's been there around for quite some years. And I think our intention is to just remind everybody how much we should value history, the component of history, and us being a vessel of celebrating the past and embracing our youth into impact in the future. So they'll be doing presentations. They'll have a great literal display of what the functionality of a check wagon was. And we will not be cooking, but we'll have blessings and we'll have water and treats. I know John LeMay will be there signing his new book. We've got autographed books by Dewey Johnson and some of his fun projects.
Like the health department shuns upon chuck wagon standards of back in the day.
Well,
nowadays.
exactly. So hey, let's put it this way: your apples and water, bottled water.
There you go.
There you go. We'll be featuring our
I know
video.
about the horseshoe and the coffee bit. So.
That's true. Oh yeah, something. Yeah, we're gonna keep it safe. We need everybody to be able to go to all 7 museums.
That's right.
So we'll be featuring our video on the history of Roswell. But again, she's correct. Our intention is to have we'll do face painting too outside.
Excellent.
But some fun things, short and sweet. We value all 7 museums.
Absolutely.
And Mike, I think my favorite time when we meet, and I'm so excited, is all of us going to the locations, and I think we're more impressed upon about what everybody else is doing and how much we value what they're doing.
Like the museum, like the Roswell Museum, people are like, I want to go to the Walker.
At the miniature, we're blown away and walking. But I think that we need to, as our museums, we need to value giving ourselves some time to enjoy what everybody else has to offer. We're so busy.
Yeah, you kind of, again, those blinders thing I was talking about.
It allows us those moments.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
And the one thing I do also want to stress is when you come out to the Historical Society and you tour the J.P. White home, you're kind of getting a glimpse of what turn of the century, like, and to see and to be honest, you're seeing what the better half. Let's just face it. If you lived in the turn of the century and were affluent, this is what your lifestyle was like in the turn of the century, and that home does an amazing job of showing that and showing what was considered luxury back in the day, what was and just even the way that building is built, the outlay of it. It is designed because it's a house built before air conditioning, a house built before electricity, a house built before these conveniences. So the house is set up to make life more comfortable without those things. And so you notice it. That's why the entranceways are a certain way and the staircase, why the porch is so big, because people have to live outdoors more because it's got hot in there. But that's what you learn about that. And then you're like, see this fancy, this had indoor plumbing. Look, oh my gosh, and you look at it and you're like, well, that's indoor. But that was state-of-the-art fancy back when that came out, and that's, so to put that perspective for people. And back to art, go to not the Anderson Bethany Museum, the Anderson Museum.
Correct.
That right the second time. But the Anderson Museum is like if you think what art is, go walk in that museum and it'll tell you you're wrong. That's what that museum, because it's got so much art, it's so eclectic, and things that you would have never thought are art in that building. And
golf bags?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Things that you're like, that guy literally took a pile of junk in the backyard, made art, and you're like, what happened? And you're like, and it's beautiful. And it really makes you question what you think art is.
Right.
And don't forget, they got an amazing piano over there and do concerts and all kinds of stuff from time to time. And then, of course, the miniatures is the same thing. And to me, that's part oddity, part impressive. Like, because yes, the oddity, like it does a connotation of that Ripley's Believe It or Not, because everything's tiny in there. That's the whole point of it. But then you look at it and it's like, no, these are thimbles with artwork that is so ornate that your mind's blown that someone could even comprehend how to that, and it's kind of, so it's got that Ripley's awe to it where you're like, how did they get an entire portrait on a match head or something like that?
And then they're always changing it up, so it's like that's curiosities and the miniatures. So right now they have a nature show and then glow bots.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
nice.
which is really impressive. So it was a project that happened before the UFO Festival was on display then, but it's a glow-in-the-dark room with all this art made from junk of these robots that glow in the dark. So it's
like
beautiful.
in my head, I almost got this like 60s spacey vibe.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like Star Trek,
right?
Like what people thought future looked like in the 60s.
It's amazing.
That's my image when I think of that.
And speaking of pianos, they have the player piano there.
Yeah, and that's
and if you've never seen it go, it's impressive.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
they can speed it up, slow it down.
They were. I think. Correct me wrong. They were kind of popular in the West saloons when no one had a piano player. They wanted entertainment
because they shot them, right?
Yeah,
that's right. My granddaughter says you can't leave the miniature museum without smiling. She's right.
Absolutely.
You just can't. Well, all the museums, but you just can't.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the Walker Aviation Museum, that pays homage to Walker Air Force Base, Roswell Army Airfield, which, for folks that don't know, served a huge role during World War II.
Yep.
Odds are pretty good that if you were on a B-17 crew during World War II, you probably spent time in Roswell, New Mexico. That's how important that role. But so that museum focuses on the base and on the Cold War era, where where we were in the dawn of the Cold War and the ICBM, Continental Ballistic Missiles, your nuclear warheads and things. Roswell, New Mexico, this area was home to the first generation of those. As they got more advanced and safer, they moved them to other places, but those first generation, the dangerous ones, the ones with the liquid fuel and the incidents, were all here in this part of the country, or were in this part of the country. So that museum celebrates that. But the cool part about it is, you think about all that stuff, but that museum celebrates the people almost more so, because it's so much relics from like here's the 1950 baseball team jackets and things. So it really celebrates life at the base. And the cool part is, and maybe you'll get lucky when you come out in September here, if you go out there, especially during the summer, like they'll get families that they're on vacation, they come from other parts of the world, and they come here to see Walker Air Force Base or Roswell Army Airfield because their parents served here, or they were here as kids while their parents served. Right. Or their granddad was here and they came and visited. And so, and you hear all these stories. They come in and they tell, and they bring some of this stuff. Like, here's my dad's book from this, or his jacket from the bowling team, or whatever. And it becomes part of it. And that's almost cooler than actually walking around the museum, is when you catch those moments where somebody walks in and they're just telling their life experiences at that base. So that place is full. And by the way, they are big in STEM with your kids too. They do a lot of science stuff. Like if you want to learn about all kinds of STEM career fields in the airline industry, they even have a simulator, so you can actually get flying time towards getting a pilot's license through the Walker Aviation Museum. Learn more about that on September 14th too. So again, more things to encourage you to look up and talk about when you're doing that. And I can't leave McBride out, because I finally got to see that museum last summer. I finally got to go, and that museum is, of course, it's right in kind of the heart of the campus there and everything else, but there's very cool stuff in there. Like, if you want to see a Medal of Honor up close, you don't get to see those very often. They got one on display there in the museum. Of course, if you're a Roger Staubach fan, they got all kinds of Staubach stuff in there. But if you kind of want to see life of what a cadet was like through the various eras at MMI, sorry, I try not to do that. Please go to that museum. They got full setups of like what a dorm room looked like back in, when it first started. And to be honest, if you can, ask to let you walk more of the campus too, because there's so much other historical stuff. Every dang building over there is historical.
It is. Yeah. And that day, they're going to be having one of their old original printing presses that they used to do like their Institute newspaper with, I believe. Nice. But they have that there, and they have some old, I don't know if they're metal or wood, but they have some blocks, so people can choose images, and then they'll help them print them.
So they can fire this thing up and print something off.
Well, it's hand done, but yes.
Yes, they fire up by
they will safely do it.
Physical, literally do that. Yes.
But that is so cool. So again, September 14th, that is Museum Day. Please, you don't have to wait till then to check this stuff out. They're come each weekend, come during the week, visit their websites. Each museum has their own website. You can see the hours and times and things. I highly recommend you check these out. But if September 14th the first time, then please make a point of visiting all 7. Get the free tours. Register at each of the get your passports kind of filled out so you can get in on the drawings for the prizes and everything else here too.
So just to mention, the passport's available at 6 of the museums.
Okay.
So the only one it's not available at is the UFO museum.
Okay.
And that's because they just want people to have free admission that day that carry the passport.
Okay.
But the general tourists coming in from Michigan, like they might not.
They don't want to cut into their normal day job.
Yeah.
Day museum.
Yeah,
stuff.
they need
and they do charge
money.
normally at that
They
event.
do.
So,
So anyone who has the passport
Which you
gets
need
in
to
for
pick
free.
up.
So either you have it mailed to you from a mailing list,
Yeah.
or you pick it up at one of the 6 other venues.
I was going to say any of the ones that you can get a copy of
Yes.
and get it picked up there. Now you need a physical passport, right?
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
have a digital version of
Correct.
it.
No.
You need an actual cardboard piece of kids.
Yes.
Old school paper. Need
Yes.
it.
And we've got plenty. Stop by one of the other 6 venues and they'll get it.
And that way you get your passport and then carry it with you to the other locations. And you can get it stamped at the UFO Museum.
Yes.
Please get it stamped and you'll get it for free.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, I highly recommend you support them by maybe buying some things at the gift store, there while you're there. But please, and I always say, please come free. But if you have a chance to support financially and are able to do so, please do. Because I can tell you, every single one of these museums could use your help, including the UFO Museum, who... Yeah, let's face it, they do a lot more traffic than the rest of the museums. But put it this way, they if you don't support it, these go away.
Right.
And so if you can support financially, great. If you want to donate, I'm sure every museum you'll find a donate box somewhere. Please visit that. Or if they're offering sales of books or various other things, please support that.
And there's additional incentives. We're working really hard, so all of museums will have fun baskets to feature, and then the grand prize. See, the whole objective of this card here is to get them all stamped and put your name to be in the large drawing, which was amazing last year.
Valued at $700.
$700.
Yeah. So do we know what this year's gifts will be?
Yes. Some of it is like a gift card or cash.
So it's like
that's
like
always
Visa
nice.
cards.
Yeah, it's a big cornucopia. It's like getting a Christmas.
It is.
It's like a Christmas
and then some are
situation.
gift certificates, some are merchandise. All together, every museum contributed, and so it's all
So
together.
put it this way, you probably don't have to pay for a meal or thing, probably for a good while.
Well, and a fun thing I love that we do, even our own baskets from every museum, there's part of all 7 museums in our own baskets.
That's just it too,
So
because we're
so much
showcasing
fun.
each museum. So
That's what
obviously,
it's all about.
Walker Aviation might have a little more theme there. The museum and art center will be a little themed more to what they do, and so forth and so on.
And
So,
another shout out though. So you get all 7 stamps. And then those you can get a museum nerd button.
Oh, cool!
So it's a button.
It's
that
swag.
Has, it's swag that has museum nerd on it because you were so awesome to go to all 7 museums.
Yeah,
And
so
it's special, so they've designed it special for this year. Every year it will be a little bit
kind of like
unique.
UFO festival
You can
swag.
collect those
Exactly.
Unique,
those
collect,
buttons.
But you're not a true collector unless you got all the years and all that good stuff. Absolutely. So if you love that kind of stuff, please, we got all kinds of those opportunities for you. But the real prize will be the fact that you just found 7 great, amazing, cultural, historical, awesome things here in your town, and that's what the end of the day. We hope you participate. We want you to get your passport, have fun. Please get in there, and I hope you win. This is cool. Please do that. Please have fun. Get your kids involved, because this is how we get the kids involved in the museum. Yes, come and please visit the museums and let them do all the make and take and all the fun things at these events, and get them inspired into making these places as something they want to keep going to when they are older. That's we really do want those kids to great treasures and learn. That's the other thing. A little bit about your backyard here.
Right.
That's, all these museums, every one of them, they go international, but they also, every one of them have a local focus and talking about your own backyard right here too.
That's right.
That's the beauty of it.
Well, if you're unable to attend, Caroline and I were just speaking before, we do want to remind individuals, if you're not available on this day, every day is Museum Day. And we want us to utilize the language of there are 7 treasures of Roswell. If you have guests in Roswell, let's remind them it's not about one, it's about all of us.
Absolutely.
And take the time to enjoy.
Absolutely. And this is how we make our community great. This is the thing, by supporting and doing these things, I always say it, if you're waiting for your local government to create things for you to make your community better, you're going to be waiting a while. That's just it. Now, don't get me wrong. City does support the museum and does all that stuff. But let's face it, it takes the people to tell the city what to do in that thing. You know what I mean? It's Caroline running that thing and doing this and saying this is what the community wants and how do we support it. And sure, the city supports it. By no means is it enough to keep the doors open. I imagine without private donors, without the private members and things like that, we do not have a Roswell Museum and Art Center.
Yeah.
It goes away despite the city's support. So please, you need to support these things. Same with the zoo. That's not this per se, but it's very much part of our community and part of this as well too. So please support these things. Support and private. All of them to go. Aquatic Center, Recreation Center, the Adult Center, all these things.
Bitter
these
Lakes, Bottoms Lake.
That's all part of your community. They all make our community better, and they're all, when you're looking for resources, when life is handing you, these are the places that turn to it. How many times do you look at just these other facilities and seeing? I guarantee. Just look at the Rio Doce stuff. I know Historical Society did. I'm sure every other museum, in some way, shape, or form, was doing something for the fires.
That's right.
And it's great. By the way, speaking of that, I'm going to throw it out. It has nothing to do, but I know you're a football person, so I saw Tularosa, I think, is playing Rio Doce this weekend in Tule. And they put a thing out on Facebook that if you come in your Rio Doce Warrior gear, they're going to let them into the game for free on Friday night or whenever they play here. So
amazing.
I thought that was cool.
That is
I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but just remind me.
Well, just at the end of the day, we're all family. We're all coming together.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Think that is, whether sports, art, history.
Now, outside of that, I do want to give you a chance, since you're both here. What outside of Museum Day, talk a little bit about what's going on at the Roswell Museum and Art Center. Give us some other plugs. I know you did a few, but
yeah.
Game on, go for it.
Big thing that a lot of people know about. So we've been under renovation for about a year now, which some really great changes happening.
It is all for the good.
It is all for the good. The main entrance is closed, and that's also a plug for Museum Day too. The front entrance is closed, but everyone can come in through the planetarium.
Think of it as you're getting the employee entrance, like the secret,
secret
door, like
secret
entrance. You get the secret entrance.
Yeah. So they can park in the main lot. They can park on 11th Street, and then just come in through the 11th Street entrance.
Well, there's plenty of parking over there between the convention center.
So far, the flooring is phenomenal. We have terrazzo flooring. We have some hardwood floors. It was replacing the beat-up carpet, the business carpeting we used to have in the galleries. And then we've been working on the front entrance, so moving the museum store from the back to the front, updating the lobby a bit. So that's still in progress, that part. And I don't know, fingers crossed. I'm thinking like November, December, January, something like that. But we'll announce a grand opening for those spaces.
And then we'll have to come back and see it in its new shiniest form.
Yes.
Instead of its under construction form.
And then another plug is October 12th is our Roswell Science and Art Festival.
Oh, excellent.
So we hold it next door at the convention center, but it's put on by our museum. And then we invite universities, the public schools, different nonprofits, federal agencies, state agencies to all come and participate. And so they present different topics exploring art and science. And it's really hands-on, family-focused day, free, lots of fun. And that'll be from 10 to 4 on October 12th. Excellent. Which I know you have an October 12th event too.
And that's where I love when that happens. And people think, oh, no. Oh, yes.
Well, so you can do it all together. Right. You make a day of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rest assured, we'll have information about theirs, and we will.
Absolutely.
Because it's just time to celebrate.
Well, and they kind of go, hand in hand in some way, because, obviously with the historical side, we're going to be having our historical book fair auction that day. And so, it's kind of, but you can kind of, and by the way, not all the books are for collector purposes, because sometimes old books are just old books. They're not necessarily valuable old books. And so we get a lot of old books. And people like to decorate with them. People like to use
great art
and
with
so
books.
Or create art.
That's true.
So technically, we get you a little art over at the Historical Society.
That is true.
But yeah, that day also. So please come, and it looks like art will go a little high tech over at the convention center. So we get a little techie.
Yeah.
And then come and of course we'll have our local authors there signing books. And for the historical book fair, what happens is we get donations. How the archives are filled with. We have an archives because people have given us their treasures over the years for keepsakes and things. And we get a lot of books. And sometimes we get a lot of the same books. And they're rare books. Don't get me wrong, but you just because you can't get them on a bookshelf anywhere. But we sometimes have 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of the book. We keep the best one. Sorry, folks, the shiniest one, the one that's in the best shape. That's the one we keep in the archives. But if we have extras, we about once a year, maybe twice a year, depending on need. We do this book auction. Yeah. And so you can come and buy our extras, our doubles, or everything else. And that money goes back to Historical Society. So people that donate on the guise of the Historical Society, we keep it in spirit because they understand. We have your book. Thank you very much. But thank you for the donation. We're going to take the money that's worth and preserve history with it and celebrate history and do everything that's under the mission statement of the history.
That's right.
So that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Friendly reminder tonight, we'll have our ribbon cutting for
That's
our beautiful new signs. Huge shout out to the Roswell Travis County Economic Development Facade Grant making that possible.
What time are you guys going?
Ribbon cutting at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Thank you to the Redcoats. They'll be out there. The EDC will be out there, and
we want to get ready for
that. Well, but you know what? I think a lot of people resemble that remark. So we'll have the anthem sang by Cisco. With shout out to Cisco, and we'll celebrate that and get ready for the ball game.
Come by later and check out our new sign.
A couple of other things as we're talking about impact, and we just want to be a vessel to the community. I'm sitting right next to amazing art representation. I just want to remind individuals we offer art scholarships. It's never too late to donate scholarships. Celebrating the legacy of Troy Hayes, we are giving scholarships out again in December, and that before you know it. School tours are a little early this year with some unique things coming about, and I do really want to encourage people to come for that book fair. Make it a day. Make it a day of it and celebrate all of the amazing things.
Come learn with I guess you got to say the latest inventions in art kind of thing, like what the cutting edge stuff in art is coming to, and or that meld of science and art, meld of science and art. Well, how many times do you watch like videos online, a TikTok or whatever, and people are doing various science experiments and I mean, that's how you draw interest. The big pile of Google do one thing by adding the one thing. That's how you get interested in science.
That's exactly right.
Art's the same way. See, when you mix these colors together, you get this. How cool is that? Yeah.
And there's one more group I want to do a plug for. I apologize, I forgot. So the Quilt Guild in town, and is it Pecos Valley Quilt Guild? I believe
Pecos Valley Quilters Guild.
Quilters Guild.
Yes, they have their show center also on our museum day.
Oh,
yes.
So
and that's another Roswell tradition is their annual Quilters Guild show. Yeah.
And some of their members have gone to different institutions like ours, I think the Mini Museum, and they've been inspired by the artwork on display to make quilts that will have in our museum, at the Mini Museum, and possibly some other places. I think the Bone Springs Art Space.
Excellent. The Art Space, excellent.
Yeah, so we'll be displaying some of their quilts. So even on that museum day, we'll have quilts from the Quilters Guild.
Yeah.
I have a sweet little family that's going to do an all-day thing of it because they're going to start the farmers market, and then they're going to do museum day, and then see those are the types of things making a day of our local.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so please think September 14th is going to be the next big one here.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Please get a plan of attack. Get them all. If I imagine of the 7. One or two, they're like, well, I want to spend a little more time here because of this or whatever, because everyone's got interests in things. Like if you're a military head, you're probably going to want to spend more time at the Walker. If you're a painter or artist, you're probably going to spend more time at one of the other art museums.
Or make the route and stop at the farmers, market, all those things. Make your own little route that works for you.
Maybe you're not oddities guy, so you're going to spend more time at the Curiosity of Miniatures Museum. That's everyone, that's the beauty of humans. Everyone loves and things, but you're going to see so much cool stuff. And please participate, have fun with the passports. Who knows? You can win a bevy of cool stuff.
Yes.
We would thank you to every single business and entity that donated for that, because that's another thing. You thank and support small businesses and big business in our community. But you don't realize these museums are nonprofits. Amy can attest to this, certainly. They do not happen without these small businesses each and every time supporting kids in school. Or, I'm going to donate a gift card for this, or I'm going to donate some product for this. These businesses, and especially your small businesses, where that $100 donation means so much more to them than say a Walmart or something. And so we're so blessed and so thankful. So when you see things in these that support these businesses.
Yeah.
Because they are making Roswell better too.
It's true.
Yeah. And Pioneer Bank did step up and they covered the cost of our print materials,
Oh,
which was
great.
so
Big
nice.
thank
of
you,
them.
Pioneer Bank.
Yes.
Again, another
They're so supportive.
9 times out of 10, if there's a
nice.
community event, Pioneer Bank's involved in some way, shape, or
Mm-hmm.
form.
It's
So
true.
that's just how it goes, around here.
So we've had some fun challenges. I've heard some schools challenging the whole classroom to take Museum Day and get some blessings. So I've heard of some classrooms. We're going to encourage groups to do that.
Yeah. Like a hashtag Museum Day, Roswell Museum Day or
really
something.
trying, like
And
you
take your
challenge.
selfies and put them on your
Shout
social
out to you,
medias.
challenge. They're linking in. That's Family Weekend.
Yeah.
They're going to bring their families
Us
out,
old heads
getting
don't
involved.
think like that. So you youngins need to think like
Well,
that. We don't
we're
think
doing
hashtagging
that
so much. So you got to
Well, but
do
they're
that for us.
really going to, and I think that's where our community was so amazing. And they showed, I think we lived by faith last year. We were uncertain. We knew we were doing the right thing, but we didn't know the turnout. We were blown away, and I want to encourage to do more.
Absolutely.
So that we can just really come together on that day.
This is what makes Roswell so unique. I mean, you don't understand. There is no town of 50,000 probably anywhere else in America that has these kinds of things. I mean, we just don't. Because we're quote unquote on an island, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a curse in the fact that we got to go 3 hours everything, but it's a blessing is we're kind of self-sustained. We have our own airport. We have 7 museums. We've got so many amenities that a town of this size would not have. And so that's take advantage of that blessing side of it. Come see the culture that you don't have to travel 3 hours to see. Or, everyone talks about New Mexico's a beautiful state. They're absolutely correct. So is your town. Come check it out.
That's right. Which it is fun to travel too, but we travel within our own.
Absolutely. So hopefully my show today got everybody between Bitter Lake last hour with the Dragonfly Festival next weekend and then Museum Day right on the heels of that. There's so much cool stuff going on right now here.
This is a great time of the year.
Absolutely. It is. It really is. It's not just football in action. There's so much other cool stuff that going on in between the games here. So get involved. If anybody, I got to wrap up here, but if anybody has questions about anything, of course, if they're interested in becoming a member at the Roswell Museum or anything about that, what's the best way to do that kind of stuff?
Well, we do have a shared webpage on the city site.
Okay.
But they can go to the roswellmuseum.org to find out more about Museum Day.
Okay.
Or any of the Facebook social media pages for any of the institutions will have that. And then becoming a member, absolutely, roswellmuseum.org.
That's a great way to support. Those
Sure.
members are the reason those doors are open. So if you want to support the arts, it's a great way to do that. So excellent. And then conversely, if you want to support the Historical Society, membership is what keeps the doors open as well. And you can be a member individually or a family or a corporate entity or whatever. There's all levels there. What's the best way to do that?
You can call 622-8333 for more information. We're all in this together. If you have
Absolutely.
a question, I think you can call any of us.
And we'll all,
but
yeah, exactly.
roswellnmhistory.org on our website is information about this event, how you a member. And I just want to challenge us again. Every day is Museum Day. Let's embrace this, and then let's just value our local treasures for all days ahead. I think that's with our world. There's healing in this, and I think that's our intention.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you turn on the TV, you're mad at something. I don't care who you are. You're mad at something.
Keep the TV off on September.
It's a great way to stop.
Too busy to watch TV.
Come see,
That's right. I love that.
Come see life happen in an actual thing. Come see history happen. Come see life experience. Come see kids make family memories. That's the other thing. You make family memories that day.
Or set your DVRs. If they can't miss them, set your DVRs.
Put it this way, you'll find out what your sport team did in an hour anyway. So, man, you're probably going to be either really mad or really sad. You just cut right to the end. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that emotional roller coaster. Come enjoy your museums, and then you'll get mad or happy at the end of the day when you look at your scores.
That's right. On behalf of all 7 museums, we do want to give a shout out to Caroline and thank her for heading this up. I really appreciate it. I know we are all so busy, and thank her for what she does to help us.
We're talking about this 10, 15 years, and here's our 20th annual Museum Day. And we're talking about a bigger thing, and who knows? Maybe it's a downtown event, then they shoot off somewhere. Who knows where it evolves?
Guaranteed the 10-year anniversary pin's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
see? These buttons we're talking about now, they're going to be all old and dusty and look like some from the 40s, and they're going to be worth lots of money.
Oh, for sure. Nancy will have that vision. Rest assured, if you have all the others and you keep saving them, there's going to be something really special.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate
We'll see y'all
you.
next time, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, 9:58, quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
The Roswell Municipal Landfill is updating its Saturday hours to give citizens more time in the afternoon to bring trash loads to the landfill. The landfill is now open Saturdays from 8 to 3:30 p.m. Weekday hours remain 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. One free trash load per month is offered for Roswell residents. You do need to show an active water bill. Recycling is offered for grade 1 and 2 plastics, corrugated cardboard, and tin and aluminum cans. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We'll be in the low 80s on the afternoon high. Cloudy skies with a cold front dropping into the area. More rain and thunderstorms are expected for the overnight hours. We'll be in the mid 60s. Showers and thunderstorms popping up again through the day on Saturday. It looks like we'll stay fairly cool in the mid 80s. Just scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Labor Day, and partly sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Well, prices did rise again last month. The government tells us that it wasn't a huge increase.
Prices rose just 0.2% from June to July, up a bit from the previous month's 0.1% increase. Compared with a year earlier, inflation was unchanged at 2.5%. The trend of cooling price increases may clear the way for the Fed to start cutting its key interest rate next month for the first time in 4.5 years. Despite the near end of high inflation, many Americans remain unhappy with sharply higher average prices for such necessities as gas, food, and housing compared with pre-pandemic levels. Jeremy House, Washington.
Vice President Harris has changed her tune on a number of key issues, but the Democratic presidential hopeful is insisting that, in her words, my values have not changed. She and running mate Tim Walz sat for a pre-recorded interview yesterday, and it was played back last night on CNN. Former President Trump figures this is something that deserves government support. How about free IVF treatments for any interested couple? That's what Mr. Trump proposes, saying that America needs more babies.
We're pro-family. Nobody's ever said that before. But the IVF treatments are expensive. It's very hard for many people to do it and to get it. But I've been in favor of IVF right from the beginning. If you talk to them, they'll say, oh, he really doesn't like, they have ads like I'm against it. It's just the opposite.
Mr. Trump at a rally in Michigan yesterday. A Dallas police officer shot to death last night. 2 other officers wounded in an exchange of gunfire with a suspect who was fatally shot by police. On Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up 27 points, the Nasdaq Composite Index ahead 68, and the S&P 19 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
In theaters now, Reagan returns to office.
We are the greatest country in the world. We have just forgotten.
You can run from a bully for so long, but after a while, you're going to have to stand up to him. I am about to start the biggest war of this century.
You told me you wanted to make a difference.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Toughened its stance on removals after immigrants were implicated in some high-profile crimes. A Syrian Islamist is alleged to have committed a deadly knife attack in Zollingen, while in May, an Afghan man killed a policeman in Mannheim. Immigration is a prominent issue in 2 eastern German states.
The BBC's Charles Haviland. Thai officials say the bodies of 3 foreign workers who were trapped for days in a railway tunnel in northeastern Thailand that collapsed while under construction have been retrieved after an intensive rescue effort. The tunnel is part of a Thai-Chinese high-speed railway project. News and analysis at townhall.com. A solitary hiker is found dead in the Grand Canyon.
The National Park Service and the Coconino County, Arizona medical examiner are investigating the death of a man who was on a multi-day solo backpacking trip through the Grand Canyon. The 60-year-old from North Carolina was reported missing Tuesday after he had failed to check in with a family member. His body was located by helicopter near a rugged trail along a remote section of the Colorado River. The man's name and hometown were not made public. He's believed to be the 6th person to die at the canyon in less than a month, and the 14th this year. Park officials say there are usually about 10 to 15 deaths per year. I'm Ben Thomas.
Inflation is down in Europe, 2.2% this month, down from 2.6% in July. The pace of consumer price increases in the 20 countries that use the euro is now close to a 2% goal set by the European Central Bank. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Good morning, Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes.
Football Friday. Of course, Goddard has already played, but Roswell High does play tonight. 1 hour earlier for kickoff. Reminder, 6 p.m. kickoff. They're trying to get ahead of the weather so they can get a game in tonight.
I sure hope so.
We'll see.
Certainly starting to get ahead of us.
It is, so we'll see what happens here. But they're going to try to, and I don't think rain's the problem. It's lightning and thunder. We'll see. But 6 p.m. kickoff. Our pregame will start around 5:40 or so. You can listen to the game right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. We'll have live streaming video at ksvptv.com and the Roswell Coyote channel. And bring your reindeer.
Yep. Bring a poncho. It's like going to a Gallagher show.
You might get watermelon. Hey, I saw something. This is. I'm going bummer on you. I'm sorry, but it's kind of a. It's kind of breaking news this morning in the sports world.
Oh.
And if you're not a hockey fan, it's not as probably not on radar.
For some reason, I thought you were going to talk about Russell Wilson.
No.
That's a bummer. That's a real bummer, Pittsburgh fans. I'm sorry.
No. This is like it's a big deal if you're a hockey fan. If you're not a hockey fan, this is probably lesser known, but it's crossing. So a current NHL player for the Columbus Blue Jackets was killed.
Oh.
I guess yesterday or just recently, in the last time here. His name is Johnny Gaudreau. He's American.
Okay.
This would be kind of like if you're a football fan. I would say someone on the level of a Ezekiel Elliott, maybe a little bit bigger than that at this point, because he's more prolific right now in the NHL than Zeke would be. But as
maybe
far
like
as popularity level, he's a pretty big deal.
Like a Cam Newton back in the day.
Yeah, like he's a more famous NHL player,
but not like the guy. But he's
like
well
his
known.
nickname is Johnny Rock or Johnny Hockey.
Okay.
Like everyone kind of calls him Johnny Hockey. He's really well liked dude. He's just very. What happened? And this is the mess. I mean, it's all messed up. But,
yeah.
So him and his brother was also killed. By the way, Matthew Goudreau, who is a minor league hockey player, who's like a year younger than him. He's 31. I think his brother's 30. But his brother's minor leaguer, and Johnny played. He got drafted, and he's I think he's from Jersey area.
Okay.
But he got drafted. He played for the Calgary Flames, and that's kind of where he became a star.
Mm-hmm.
He's 7-time All-Star. I mean, he's a big deal. And then I think this was going to be his third year with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And so, but apparently, him and his brother were out bike riding, and they were hit and killed by a drunk driver.
No. Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Both of them were hit and killed by a drunk driver. And as I'm reading more stories and things, like apparently, like their sister's about to get married or somebody in the families. I mean, there's like someone's just having a baby. Like there's a lot going on in this family right now.
Man.
And then now you got these, and let's face it, their parents just lost both two sons in one thing. I mean, it's just a lot to wrap your head around.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? And but yeah, it's like if like I said, if you're a football guy, it's someone that it's a pretty well-known name in NHL circles.
Sure.
That, he's 31, so he's a veteran. And hockey, 31's not that old. Actually, you can play hockey. Some guys play well into their 40s. So.
No, absolutely, yeah.
It just depends. It's as rough as that sport is, not as hard on the joints as some.
There's especially like goalie positions. I feel like there's with all the protective gear we have now, it's a pretty safe position to be into your older years.
Well,
not a lot of like moving or
Yes, sir. It's all reef. Trust me, as a guy that played goaltender, and this now you're talking my wheelhouse because I was a goalie. It's all about reaction time.
There's a lot of squatting. I'll give them that.
Yeah, like goaltenders' reaction time rivals that with like F1 drivers. So age does a factor when that slows down.
Sure.
Because these guys are literally facing 100-mile-an-hour slap shots, and they react on a dime. They just boom, 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 and and 99% of the time, they're screened. They don't see the shots coming in because there's usually traffic in the way and people there, and so goaltending's a whole art. To be honest, goaltenders, especially hockey goaltenders, are some of the craziest, weirdest people ever because you ain't right in the head if you're a goaltender.
I saw a picture of a guy who this was like he was a goalie for a team before they wore helmets.
Yeah.
And his face was just 16 shades of messed up.
Oh, yeah, those guys back in the day, your Turk Brodas, these guys literally be out there with pads on. They're about as thick as a New York City phone book, and no hat, no mask. No, there was a guy, Jacques Plante, is the goaltender credited with being one of the first to don the mask and make it a thing. And he took a shot to the face in the first period, had to get like 20 stitches. He came back out for the second period with that mask on.
Right. All right.
But that's hockey. The dude took a puck to the face.
Jiminy Christmas.
Got reconstructive surgery, back out for the second period. Meanwhile, soccer players, they fake
I love the flop.
Like
so good.
There's a clip that makes me laugh so hard that it was like a meme clip. And it's a side-by-side of a soccer player and Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. And so the clip on the left of the soccer player, he's like running, and another guy comes near him and just like barely touches him, and he goes flying and rolls around on the ground. Alex Ovechkin is sitting on the bench, just sitting there, sitting there. All of a sudden, a puck comes up and whacks him upside his head and falls. He just looks around like, oh, dang. And then
what? He goes, what? Somebody tapped him kind of hard.
And I don't think he had his brain bucket on because he was sitting on the bench like shit wasn't coming up. So he may have had it off for a second.
It's a real fun name for a helmet, by the way. It's funny. It triggered my head when you mentioned Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think anybody mentioned this, but part of the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, I think it was part of the torch ceremony.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it was one of the bearers members of the Torchbearers was Zinedine Zidane.
Okay.
He's a soccer player
All right.
who is famous for headbutting a referee.
Oh.
Like he went viral because like he got like a bad call and he just just tatered a ref.
That's one of the hardest parts of the head right there.
Yeah, and the only reason I know about it is because they made a joke on Family Guy about him delivering a birthday cake, headbutting the grandma, going bon anniversaire, and throwing it on her.
Just tell people you're a soccer fan.
Yeah. But I'm like, wait, Zinedine Zidane is still a thing? I thought he got canceled or, was spending time dealing with a concussion.
Well, it's athletics, certain things, especially, I imagine, what country is he from?
He's from France.
Okay.
He's French. That's why why he was involved.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking because maybe he was British. I'm sure the name don't sound British, but I think he'd be a superhero in England if he did that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, for sure.
Like he wouldn't have to pay for a pint in any pub in all of England if he was doing stuff. I feel like that, except for the town of the team which he did these things to. But other than that, so the soccer hooligans. You ever watch that Wrexham show on FX or it's FX or on Hulu if you have
now
Hulu.
I've been wanting to. I just haven't actually started it.
To be honest, I have not finished the most recent season of it. I got sidetracked, but it's such a good show, and I've talked about it here before. It's Ryan Reynolds and McElhaney.
Rob McElhenney,
and he's from Sunny, Always Sunny guy, and then of course Reynolds is on everything now. But they bought a soccer team in Wales, and it's basically a reality show of them turning this downtrodden, basically unprofessional team that once was a top tier team and now bringing them back to glory. And it's an interesting show because it's not that I love soccer or anything, but it's really more about this town of Wrexham,
right?
And it is just cool to see.
What's funny is he's actually Ryan Reynolds is actually sort of like he's turning some of the players who are like the more standout in the series
stars.
He's turning them into actual movie stars now.
Nice.
It's been enough time that I'm going to go ahead and spoil something here. Yeah. Deadpool and Wolverine. All right.
I haven't seen it yet.
I know,
Don't
but
hit
it's been a long time. You should have seen it. There's a scene where Deadpool and Wolverine have to fight through 100 Deadpools.
Okay.
Different Deadpools. Several of
kind of like Matrix 2 or 3.
It was like different universes, their version of Deadpool, and some of the Deadpools that he fought through were actual Wrexham players.
Okay.
Were actual like players.
Wow,
from the
now
team.
we're starting to get into if you watch Disney Plus, it was the Loki series.
Oh, and that's really heavily referenced in this movie too.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of that, a lot of Doctor Strange. It's very multiverse heavy,
which is very good, by the way. The Loki one, I liked that one. Is that the one that's got?
I haven't finished it yet. So
I think it's the same series that's got. What's his name? Luke Wilson, not Luke. Owen Wilson. And that's the one, right? Where he's like he works for that FBI like in time thing. Yeah, that's the Loki one. That's a good one. Yeah,
that time group, TVM, I think it's called. They're very involved in this movie too. It's you need to see this movie so that we can actually have a cogent discussion where I'm not like talking in such overt,
Well, my wife won't go to a theater to watch Deadpool versus things. So
it's got to be out on digital by now. I mean,
I don't think it is.
Rent a movie, man.
I don't think it is. I'll rent it if it's like $4. I'm not renting if it's like $20. They can.
No, you should be buying at that point.
But I like sometimes when I first rent them, they want like $18.
Oh, I know. This is definitely one that I'm dying to go back and rewatch. I'm not going to go back to a theater and watch it, but I'm dying to go back and rewatch it because I know there's things I missed.
Yeah, but you'd mentioned about the Deadpools. They did that with Loki in that series, and so there's a bunch of different Lokis in there, and some of them aren't. Oh, it's great. Lokis. Yeah.
There's Baby Pool. It's literally just like an infant.
So they took that bit and took it into the movie too. Yeah, with different Deadpools. I guess.
There's one of the main ones is Nice Pool, played by a very Canadian Ryan Reynolds with long hair. He's a very nice. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I bet he had to get his into Brendan Fraser.
A little bit of that, yeah.
Now I'm starting to think of that movie with him and with the devil and all.
Why isn't Nice Pool wearing a mask? And he looks at the camera and goes, "Come on," because he's beautiful.
All right, let me get our hour going. Yes. We're going to play our interview we had with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot. He joins us each month to just give advice for folks looking to buy homes. He's the financial guy, so we'll play that interview for you here in just a bit. Later on, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety Wall Street Business Update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But waste that weather. It's all kinds of in the news today, at least around here, around these parts.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We'll be in the low 80s on the afternoon high. Cloudy skies with a cold front dropping into the area. More rain and thunderstorms are expected for the overnight hours. We'll be in the mid 60s. Showers and thunderstorms popping up again through the day on Saturday. It looks like we'll stay fairly cool in the mid 80s. Just scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Labor Day, and partly sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thanks, Steve. Currently 70 and overcast here in Roswell. Humidity is at 73%. Winds out of the north at 14 miles per hour. They have issued a flash flood watch for us for today, beginning at 10 a.m., in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. We are looking at decent chances at more rain today. We're talking an 80% chance of rain for today, high of 80. Winds would be out of the northeast at around 10 miles per hour. They're saying anywhere between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of rain possible today, unless we see a thunderstorm, then that number could creep up a bit there. Tonight, we're looking at a, where is it at? I'm trying to find the chance of rain here. 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, 64 for an overnight low, northeast winds 5 to 10. They're saying less than a tenth of an inch tonight expected unless we get a thunderstorm. 50% chance of showers for your Saturday, partly cloudy and 83 for a high. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of rain expected tomorrow. Unless we get a thunderstorm, that'll pick those numbers up. 40% chance of showers for Saturday night. Overnight low of 66 under mostly cloudy skies. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, we are looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy, 82 for a high. North winds 5 to 10. Sunday night, a 50% chance of showers, cloudy with an overnight low of 66. Your Labor Day, 40% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, 79 for a high. 70s. These temps, I'm sorry. The rain, I'm not, I want it, but I'm not a room, but these 80s and 70s, I ain't going to lie, these are making me so happy inside. And then like next week, 83 Tuesday, we might be back up near 90 by Thursday next week, but cooler temps and moisture in the forecast next several days. All right, 21 minutes after 9, we're going to take a 2.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Hey Roswell, this is your last chance to get clearance pricing through Labor Day during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get our best deals of the year on all-new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $3,400 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford Credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Hey, Mary, come on in. Thanks for the invite. Your house smells great. What is that? I went and had a custom candle made at Farm and Ranch Candle Company here in Roswell. They're a local candle bar, and I was able to make my very own custom scent candle. Farm and Ranch Candle Company? That is so cool. Do they have any other stuff? You bet. They have a whole mega station to stock up on Trump tumblers, t-shirts, and more. Plus bridal and baby shower, handcrafted steel furniture, and so much more. Farm and Ranch Candle Company can make everything smell better. Everything? Well, almost everything. I'll get the diapers.
Farm and Ranch Candle Company, where Patriots shop. Stop by 117 East 2nd on the corner of East Main and 2nd in Roswell.
C.S. Lewis once wrote, "If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world." At this time in America, things just don't feel right. There's so much anger and negativity and sadness. We seem to be tearing each other down rather than trying to build each other up. Many people are either being medicated or self-medicating to numb themselves or to simply escape from the problems of this world. Our world is just plain and simple broken. The good news is that the plan of God from the beginning is not broken. God's plan is perfect. He sent his perfect Son to die on the cross for our sins to make us right again. He didn't come to make things perfect in this life, but with a message that if we follow him, things will be perfect in the next one. He calls for us to live a life of meaning, loving God and doing his will by loving and serving those around us. So join us as we strive to know Jesus in this crazy world as we prepare for that perfect world to come.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Attention Roswell Coyote fans. When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, raise your bar, keep dreaming, and go beyond the limits that you thought possible. The new 2024 Honda Ridgeline Passport and Pilot, part of the Roswell Honda Rugged Trail Sport lineup. Roswell Honda, proud supporter of all Roswell High School sports.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:32, and joining us in studio this morning, back from Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Roswell.
How are you doing today?
We're doing good. It's beautiful outside, nice and bright, not windy.
Yeah?
You know, hopefully it's going to be hot today. That's what I've known.
But, yeah, now, for folks not familiar, Elliot joins us on the radio here once a month, and he's the loan officer side, financial side of when you're procuring your home. Actually, if you're thinking about going to purchase your home, whether it's your first one or your fifth one, Elliot's the guy you see first to see, okay, how much do you qualify for? What can you comfortably do? And then he'll give you a number, and then you can go shopping and say, okay, with this number I can do this. And so that and so if you want to have the fun part, you need to talk to Elliot first to know exactly how much fun you can have.
And that is an understatement right there. Yeah, folks, if you come see me and I tell you a number, try to stay on those numbers.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Well, and this is where Elliot, I think, separates himself from maybe some of his other peers in the industry here. Is Elliot, because let's face it, they're commission based. People make money off of me. That's how it is.
No matter what.
He lends you money, he makes money. That's how life works here. However, what Elliot does is he's honest and upfront with you and said, look, in theory, you're qualified for $300,000, but that's going to strap you financially. And if you don't want to have anything else, then go ahead and look for a $300,000 house. My suggestion to you is let's go look for a $200,000 house.
Yeah, 200, 250.
Yeah.
I mean, watch your budget.
Yeah.
But the fact is, guys, I mean, and the thing that is being difficult for everybody is that everybody has to push the limits because now the market is changing and the houses are still selling. There's 99 homes. There's homes that are a little, distressed, so they need a little help.
Sure.
And folks, we got what is called 203K, home mortgage purchases. That is a renovation loan. So that means you could buy any house. Okay.
And then make it perfect your way.
Exactly.
Afterwards.
I mean, let's be honest. If you guys want a home that is $300,000, okay, and I get it, location is the big deal about real estate. I get all that.
Absolutely.
But what if you find a home that is, I don't know, 200 to 225, that needs a little love, okay?
Yeah. Or it has different counters than you like, or
and guess what? I can give you the money so you could fix it.
Yeah.
Make it as good as the $300,000 deal.
Yeah.
And maybe you just save yourself $50K, okay? So I know, and I get it. It's difficult right now.
And by the way, you'll get your money back when you turn around and sell this house, whether it's 5 years from now or whenever.
And I get it. There's not enough homes, so everybody's fighting for the houses that are available.
Absolutely.
So everybody's pushing the limits.
It is
I get it.
It's a volatile market right now.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
It is what it is, and that's because we live in a financially volatile world right now. In case you haven't heard, inflation's out through the roof. They're trying to it's an election year, so now they're trying to polish the turd, but we all know what's going on.
I know. and talking about that, everybody's been talking. The rates are dropping. The rates are dropping. First of all, not so much, really, guys. Yeah. Let's put some facts on the table real quick for everybody out there listening, and pass it to your friends and relatives and all that. The fact of the matter is, the Feds and the stock market, okay, depending on what's happening at any given day, every given week, the rates are going up and down, up and down, up and down. Have they been improving slowly and surely? Yes, they have. But the Feds have not done a cut on interest rates like the way that everybody's talking yet. Yes, they are pushing it because they're trying to control the system, see what happens, and they did the best they could the past couple years.
Trying to keep the water from boiling over. So
exactly. Yeah. So they done the best they can, but they have not dropped yet. So yes, the rates are getting better. So it's costing a little less. So to give a little learning, direction here. So for example, let's say you were getting a 7.5% or a 7% or a 6.5%, whatever interest rate you were getting, and let's say, for instance, it's costing in discount points. It means that's what it costs you to have the interest rate that you are getting. Let's say it's costing you $3,000. Okay, maybe it cost you $3,000 three months ago or so. Maybe now today it's costing $2,000. So yes, the market is going the right direction, but the rates are not truly, in fact, dropped. Okay, if you look at it nationally, yes, they're supposed to have dropped, but they haven't per se for every state, as far as like, over there is 6.5%, over there is 6%. There's no such a thing. Can some banks do a little better than some regular lenders? In some cases, but it depends what you're paying for and what is happening.
Sure.
Okay, and the program. So if you go to a bank or a lender and you ask them what rate you have, that is the wrong question to ask. The question to ask is, what do I qualify for and what can you do for me?
Sure.
Because
that answer is different for every person.
Exactly. Every situation is totally different. And the fact of the matter is, nobody really have better rates than others.
Sure.
It's the fact is what you have. Okay?
And correct me if I'm wrong here, but your circumstance can drastically affect that number. I'm talking 1 full percentage point and more.
Oh, big time. Let's put a scenario in place. Let's say somebody that, folks, by the way, I'm one of the only ones in town that can go as low as 520 credit score. But when you go that far down, that means something took place in your life.
You're a higher risk, therefore they're going to require more from you to allow you. That's the principle.
But the fact of the matter is that I'm one of the only ones. I probably am the only one that can go that low. So that means if you were thinking about buying a home and your credit score is a little low, doesn't mean you cannot buy a house. It means you have to put a little more, a little more into it. Sure. Okay, which is fine because when the rates get better and when your credit scores get better, you can refinance and get back into the game even better than everybody else.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
It's no different than like health or anything else. If you haven't worked out in a while, and then you go to work out, it's going to be a lot harder to do that. It's no different financially here. If you got buried in credit card debt and your credit scores dropping and you got out, your income to debt ratio is not looking good here, then yes, it's going to be harder to put you in a house. However, this is also how you fix those problems because you show the history in that house with the higher percentage rate that you're making the payments on time. Guess what goes down or guess what goes up?
Exactly.
Your credit score goes up.
Yeah, it works out that way.
Things start dropping off, and then that next thing you know, that 500 goes to 600, and then you're in the 700s. And,
I know.
And then you start writing your own ticket when you get into the 700s.
Let me tell you, the one scenario that I always remember is when I was in Colorado Springs. And this is in 2006, 2007, okay? Right after the market went, went upside down and everything. I had folks that couldn't refinance, do anything with their home. They literally were talking about foreclosures and, bankruptcies and all kinds of stuff. I tell them, this is what you do. So, folks, if I tell you to do something, trust me, I'm telling you to do it for your own good and to make it better for you guys and make it happen for you. These folks listen to me, and I always remember these people because I almost feel like I took them like my parents, okay? And I love that because I like to help people. And they actually listen to me. Literally, folks, in 6 months, I was able to refinance their home. They decided to sell another property, okay, and do a bunch of things. And guess what? They were back to normal. They were back into retirement, moved, and everything. So the point is, if you do the right thing for yourself, trust me, you'll get there.
Sure. It's almost like, and this is where Elliot, and this goes back to what Elliot does, where I don't think other people in his field do as much per se. I'm not saying there's good people do good things.
No, I know they do.
But like when you turn on TV, particularly at night, late at night, and you're watching old reruns of something or another on there, and then you start watching these TV commercials for debt consolidation and all these. Elliot, in essence, is giving you that game plan that those people are giving you.
Correct.
But giving it to you in a plan low, and of course his end game's to put you in a house or something where he's like, okay, but in essence he's doing the same thing as what these debt consolidator people do. Of course what they're doing is they're taking all your debt and saying, all right, we're going to lump it all together, and then you're going to make one payment, and that's wonderful if you're disciplined. What happens most of the time is people do that. And then they accrue more debt, and now they're back.
Now, and it's also if the scenario really calls for that. Because let me tell you something. I have many people come to me. I went to this, financial company. I went to this debt consideration company, and some of those companies, what they're doing is arming the creditors. That doesn't always work out in your best interest, because if they're doing that and they're not paying them, they're trying to make them settle and change some stuff. Now you went on default because now you're late. Now you're not paying what you're supposed to. And I'm not saying those companies don't work. I'm just saying that may not have been the right scenario for you to do if you're trying to buy a house.
Well, and that's just it. Like, if you're not disciplined and got in that situation in the first place, you're ultimately going to have to be disciplined to get out of it. There's no two ways around
there's not an easy way out of it.
And so that is a great plan as long as you stay disciplined.
Correct.
That's the problem is it only works unless you stay disciplined, because the moment you come off the plan, you're either going to go back to or be worse off than you were before.
And if you're planning to do something like that, you should come and you are thinking about buying a house, you should talk to somebody like me first.
Absolutely.
Because those things may not be the right move.
Sure. And they might actually hamper you getting a house.
It's very true. Because I have a lot of folks that did it.
Yeah.
And the credit score is worse. It's like if they would have come to me.
Sure. Depending on how they do it and what they do it may look like a bankruptcy or something on your credit. It may not that extreme, but it can negatively impact your credit score because they're seeing, all right, you're having.
Oh, I get a lot of people coming, but I pay my credit cards. How come my credit score is lower?
It's way different now.
The fact is, guys, if you pay your credit card completely off, your credit score will drop first. That's just don't ask me. I'm translating Chinese.
Trust me, I see it all the time.
That's just the way it is.
Especially
credit is weird. Credit is weird.
Like if you have a high credit score, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but since I've been married and an adult and stuff, I'm upper 700s, 800s.
Oh, because you're watching what you're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said, I've had it where like we paid off a card or a car payment gets, and next thing you know, I'm like, wait a minute, I was 816. Why am I 780 now? And it's because it's weird, but put it this way: if you're older folks. How they judged your credit score back in the 70s, 80s is not the same in how they do
Everything
it
have
in
changed.
the 2000s
Everything have
and recently.
And let me tell you, folks, anybody that comes to me, and they got bad credit, and they act like they don't have credit, trust me, you have bad credit because you're the one that buy the stuff.
You've been told no before.
You're the one that buy the stuff. You're the one that might maybe not paying it.
People with bad credit have tried things and been told no. I'm sorry. That's how. And
I'm not
bad credit.
And I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to help you.
We all been there.
I know. I've been there. I to educate you and help you. So don't be afraid of that.
When you're young, I'm not saying look. If you're prepared and you do it the right way every time, you're amazing. But this is sometimes how you learn lessons when you're young is yes, as parents and as people, guardians and things, we always try to raise our kids to avoid those.
Correct.
But but as human beings, you almost have to run through one or two of those.
They have to learn on their own. They have to learn on their own.
Humans got to learn the hard way. We just do sometimes. But what we're trying to say is, okay, learn it the hard way, but don't put yourself in a situation where we can't bail you out of it. You know what I mean? All right, if your credit gets jacked up, I get it. I had the same problem. I was 18. I joined the military, and oh boy, people want to give me stuff. I'll take it. Oh wait, I just got my first paycheck.
Maybe we need to work for the army and tell people to join.
Right? Because they'll give you
I don't
loans.
know.
Well, it happens. They give you loans, and next thing you know, I got $1,500 a month in payments and stuff going out, and then I get my first check. I'm like, I only got $900 coming in.
And let me tell you something. When I was in, I had to admit. like all those federal military unions, credit unions, they actually try to teach you how to do
if you
stuff.
listen.
If you listen. Because when you're young and 21 and you just join the army, all you want to do is buy yourself a real nice, good-looking car.
There is a reason you go to buy a military installation, and there's always a half dozen payday loan establishments within a mile of that.
Because they know. They know. That new guy's going to have a new girlfriend. He got uniforms. Now he all sharp. Now he's going to think he can take over the world kind of deal. No, but folks, like I was saying, I'm probably one of the only lenders in the area that can go as low as 520. I hope you're not in that situation, but you are. Doesn't mean you cannot buy a home. It means you have to do a little more.
Sure.
But saying all that, if a person has like great credit, they have a little money put away, obviously they got even more chances to do even more programs.
Sure.
So the rates will probably be better for them, unfortunately, guys.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Well, and that's the incentive. And this is capitalism. It's, hey, it
because
inspires you to work hard.
Yeah, that's as bad as the government is, as bad as people think capitalism is not a good thing.
Yeah,
it just tells you if you do the right thing, you get to do more.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
Like video gaming or anything else, you play to the level,
and
you get more
get
stuff,
better,
you get
higher
better points, and you start out better on the next.
And you
level.
go to the next level.
Yeah, life's just like that.
As crazy as it sounds, that's just the way life is.
It really is.
It really is.
In a nutshell, if you oversimplify everything, that's really what you're doing in navigating life. Too.
If you listen to Mike and I once a month for all these years, that's one thing that we've been talking about.
Sure.
We started with a little something, and we did it a little better, and a little better, and a little better.
It's just the point that because, and I hear it all the time, young people can't. No, you can. It is possible. There is a thing you're going to have to sacrifice, and everybody does it. All of us go through that period of life. Unless you were born with a billionaire parents, we all go through that part in life where you're going to the fixins bar at the fast food joint just to get a salad. You know what I'm saying? We're all
let's put it this way.
We've all done these things.
Last year and the year before, I think I did a lot of loans for some young people, like 18 and 19-year-old. It's like, damn, Elliot, that's just so wrong. No, I wish I would have bought my house when I was 18 and 19.
Sure.
My very first house. I wish I had.
Hindsight's 20/20. Yeah, and they tell us, and we all like, whatever. I've got,
people tell me, buy a house.
Well,
I wasn't even listening.
Down at 18.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
I was so crazy, stupid, in love and everything, but still didn't even thought about buying a house.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, folks. Those kids that bought a home at 18 and 19 years old, they are a few steps ahead of all of us.
Well, that's
seriously.
when you go into that nice neighborhood. And they all got and then most of the people are like guys in their 50s, families of 50s, 60s.
And you see a few families that are super young.
And then you see a 28-year-old living in the same thing. What happened? They're the ones that are smart. And you're thinking, they must have a startup. They must have a .com startup.
No, I hear you.
Like, no, they just literally, they have parents that thought, and they make good money as a job, but they are way farther ahead on the timeline of where than most people.
Let's put it like this, folks. There's been a few jobs that came across my table that I was like, hey, how do you get to that? Because I think I should have done that when I was younger. Let me tell you, folks, I'm very busy, okay? So I'm taking care of so many people that is, my new word is crazy stupid, okay? That's my new word. Because everything is going out of overboard. It's crazy. It's a good problem, but is what is happening.
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah.
And I love it because I think I can help a lot of people. But it's super crazy because so many stuff is happening. But folks, if you do the right thing, you'll be in the right place later.
Well, that's where you talk to Elliot. This is where and this is I'm trying to explain that difference to you. It's and this is where Elliot does it. This is why Elliot likes working with first-time home buyers and people, because he loves to educate the people. Let's face it, and here's the thing too. Even if you come in educated, and Elliot can work with you too, say that's great, that's an awesome thing. We could do that.
Well, actually, yeah, it makes it easier.
But you know what? I've got a thing. It's just like that, but it's going to allow you to do this, this, and this.
Exactly.
And that's where Ellie could say, "Good, I like what you're thinking here, but I got a program here that's just like that."
You'd
but
be
it also
surprised.
adds this, and this to it too.
All the time it happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted to do this. I want to do that. You know what? That is awesome.
Yeah.
What about you put that together that you're talking about with this?
Sure.
And you could do better.
I got your vision. Let me enhance it.
And
for
folks, when people do all those trainings, the first thing I ask them, do you learn anything?
Yeah.
And they look at me, why he's asking me this? Because that means I want to know if when you took it, you pay attention. And they say like, yes. So now everything I'm telling you is falling down, right? With how that training talked to you, right? And they say, yes. It's like, that's the whole point.
Sure.
I want you to be better off that when you buy your first home, And when you're ready to buy the next one, it's even more smooth.
Sure.
And I say it all the time. A lot of people are like, buying a house is a stressful thing. Okay, I'm not going to take that away from anybody.
The most money most people spend in their entire life is to buy a house.
And folks, I'm probably the most stressed than you guys and me. So, because I'm the one who had to answer to you and make sure it's happening for you.
Well, yeah, because you make a lot of statements, and you got to back them up. And if they don't happen,
you ain't lying. I had a guy saying, "But you told me that I can get a house." Like, but you changed my whole scenario.
Right.
Okay.
If you did all this, that messed up the plan.
Really, he was even mad for a minute. I even got a phone call, after like 5 minutes, apologizing to me. I still got in the house, and I believe that they're going to be one of the most grateful people because they were super happy.
Sure.
And
I bet some of your best customers are the ones that you had the tumultuous.
Yeah, they went a little crazy
Yeah,
for a minute. Yeah. But you know why? Because it happens. Even though, let me tell you something. I tell people, no new credit, no new financial changes unless you run it through me.
Sure.
Okay. Do not, please. Okay. Save every money you have.
And that's just it. Everything, anytime something is,
and they still do
something as simple as walking into the phone store and getting a new phone can completely mess up your entire loan application process.
I know.
Something as simple as that can mess it up.
Yeah, it's just like you talking,
regardless of your credit, by the way.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So it's like talking to your kids. Like if I was talking to a teenager of mine or something like that, and I tell you, when you go to play basketball, when you go to the swimming pool, don't do it like this. But they still end up doing it the other way instead, because people in their nature, they're going to do what they're going to do.
Younger, we're bullheaded until you do it wrong a few times. And maybe
I know,
to
right?
That person,
No, but you know what, folks? Don't be afraid of buying a home. If you want to buy a home, you have to come to me and talk to, because the fact is, you're still paying rent or living with family. You still need a place to live.
The sooner you get into the game, the better you're setting yourself up down the road.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
When is the best time to buy a house?
Yeah.
The best time to buy a house, folks, is now.
It
don't matter what's happening in the market.
Like if you're young out there and you're, graduating from college and, you haven't started the family portion yet, maybe start the house portion and insert the family later, because now you're in the game, regardless if you're buying a 1-bedroom home or a 2-bedroom, and then life happens, but you're in the game and you're not, because you're going to be paying rent in an apartment
Talking about
or
that.
something like that. Go ahead and buy that house and live it and do your thing until you find the family that you want to put in it.
I had a guy that we closed like a couple weeks ago, and he's not married, but a nice house, okay? And he's talking about getting married. And I was like, well, but just remember, when you get married, your house becomes hers just the same.
Yeah, you lose all decorating privileges.
His whole face changed. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, New Mexico is funny. If you marry, what is yours, and what is yours is hers.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, you own your home, and then you meet your girlfriend and turns into your wife, and now your family.
The house is hers too.
She is not going to put up with your Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Mavericks, and various other sports memorabilia that you better
hope she likes the Cowboys. So you better hope she likes the Cowboys. Yeah. No, the point is, guys, it's just the way it is. But you know what? Do not be afraid of buying a home. It's the main thing we've been saying for years.
Right.
Because you need a place to live.
That's right.
And let's be honest, living with mom and dad is okay for some time, but not forever,
Sure.
And you don't have no independency. And let's be honest, you cannot throw the parties that you want to throw if you...
Well, and more, if you do it that way, the more opportunities open. And if you start young, right out of college, you're buying your first home and you're single and you got it, guess what? Then you meet the family and you're like, we need a bigger house. Oh, we got all kinds of equity built up here. Our first home's going to be way nicer than most people's first home.
And if you bought a house like a year ago, whatever, soon you're going to be able to refinance it. Okay,
absolutely.
That's where it's going.
Sure.
And it's going to happen sooner or later.
What comes up must come down. What goes down must come up.
And that is the truth. That's the true fact. And folks, we have in Roswell, Loan Depot. Mike can tell you about this. We're one of the largest company in the United States, folks. That's not a joke. It's not. I'm not making it up. It's one of the largest. That means we have pretty much every program that there is. And I'm also a broker now, because any program that I cannot do if outside the normal scope, I got partners that I can get you to help you buy the house too.
It's the big large market company that gives you opportunity because of their size. They can do things that others can't.
Correct.
But at the same time, small enough because it started grassroots with people that were basically pissed at the industry and started their own company basically. But so it gives the latitude to the local agent like Elliot here to do these things, but and get a little creative with stuff. But then when they need the big guns to do it, they can call up.
Because I have said it every single time.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. I have said it every time. When I decided to leave and get to the new company, which I am right now, I was looking to a place that take the column off so I can actually do what I need to do for all of you folks out there. Okay? Because I don't want to be able to, I want to start almost like Obama and don't leave nobody behind kind of deal. Okay? It's true. I want everybody to get the opportunity to buy a house. And that's not an easy thing to do if you're in the wrong place. That doesn't allow you to do everything that you need to do.
Absolutely.
So I took my time to do my homework and choose the company that it was going to allow me to do that for you folks.
Give you the flexibility. And here it is.
Hey, there you go.
I just saw the time, so we've got to get. So call Elliot. Set up if you want to have an appointment to talk with him and sit down and let's go over your situation. Easy to do. You can reach him out directly on his cell. Call him at 719-237-4680. Again, 719-237-4680. Or if you want to call the office, leave a voicemail if he's not there, 505-445-2070, 505-445-2070. And, of course, you can do all this online, too. You go to his website. If you go to www.loandepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez, all one word, one L in Elliot, and then the Z at the end for Rodriguez. And then you go, that's his website. You can look at all the Loan Depot stuff, but then Elliot's track record, history, what he does, and everything else. Or you can shoot him an email, too. Same, Elliot Rodriguez, all one word, one L, the Z at the end, at loandepot.com. You can shoot an email, and he'll get back to you as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, and you can look it up on Facebook, and you can see all the stuff I've been doing for years.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you've been here years. You have great relationships with agents, everybody here. And so if you're looking for all that stuff, Elliot can even help you navigate through that too.
Yes.
So, good deal. Well, thank you, sir. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
And don't get too hot out there.
I know. Stay cool, guys.
That's
It's
right.
getting hot today, and for the rest of the week, it's going to be pretty hot.
May your AC unit work as well as you want it to today.
I know, that sounds like one of those.
The best dish I can wish on somebody. 8:58, quick break before news. Don't go away.
Hello. The Roswell Municipal Court announces the promotion and appointment of Ron J. Garcia to the position of court administrator. Garcia has been employed with the City of Roswell in a number of capacities for more than 23 years. Beginning in 2001, Garcia held positions working in the Departments of Animal Services, Utilities, and Code Enforcement. He took the job with the Municipal Court in 2017 as a bailiff. He additionally recognized as one of the court's alternate judges. The Roswell Municipal Landfill is updating its Saturday hours to give citizens more time in the afternoon to bring trash loads to the landfill. The landfill is now open Saturdays from 8 to 3:30 p.m. Weekday hours remain 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. One free trash load per month is offered for Roswell residents. You do need to show an active water bill. Recycling is offered for grade 1 and 2 plastics, corrugated cardboard, and tin and aluminum cans. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And conservatism is what? What do we want? We want less government in our lives, limited government. We want the lowest taxes possible. We want to end the burdensome bureaucracy that is a stranglehold on business. We want secure borders. We want energy independence. We want those high-paying career jobs in the energy sector. We want constitutional justices. People want and deserve cities and towns that are safe and secure. We believe in law and we believe in order. We believe that if our public schools are failing our kids at a spectacular level, our kids deserve better. We want safe schools and we want good schools. It's pretty simple.
The Conservative Underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, protect your home and family. Now, it's a responsibility you cannot take lightly. But starting with deadly force, that should not be your first option, especially given the serious mental, financial, legal consequences that can very well follow. You might want to look at non-lethal force. That's where Burner comes in. It's a non-lethal pistol launcher designed by a group of common-sense gun owners, and it's used for everyday Americans concerned about their personal safety and security. Now, the Burner pistol launcher is equipped with powerful deterrents like tear gas and kinetic rounds. The Burner launcher can incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes. Now, that's enough time to ensure your family's safety. The Burner launcher is legal in all 50 states. You can ship directly to your door. It's time to join the growing movement. And they always put safety first. Go to their website, byrna.com/Hannity. You'll get 10% off. Watch their videos, byrna.com/Hannity, 10% off. And make the smart choice for you and your family and your safety today.
With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Why would Dalvin Cook, a 4-time Pro Bowl running back for the Vikings, sign with the Cowboys as a practice squad player? He tells you his why right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport. Above, beyond. At McAllenAirport.com.
Yesterday's work was the first full pad non-training camp practice for the Cowboys as they prepare for the regular season opener. And for the first time wearing a star was 4-time Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook, one of the biggest stars in the league in his time with the Vikings. He's now a member of the Cowboys practice squad, which begs two questions. Does Cook still have something left to prove? And why settle for a spot on a practice squad?
Nah, my resume speaks for itself, to be honest. But I just had a son. He just turned 1 a week ago. Got everything to prove to him. And I owe the world to him. Every day I put on my pad, every day I wake up. That's my why.
Players have a long weekend off, come back to practice Monday to continue game planning for the regular season opener at Cleveland, Sunday, September 8th. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. An inflation measure closely followed by the Federal Reserve remained low last month, extending a trend of cooling price increases. It clears the way for the Fed to start cutting its key interest rate next month for the first time in 4.5 years. Prices rose 0.2% from June to July, up slightly from the previous month's 0.1% increase. The cost of borrowing for a home has fallen to its lowest level in more than a year. The average rate for a 30-year mortgage has dropped to 6.35%, according to Freddie Mac. A year ago, the rate was averaging 7.18%. Inflation is down in Europe, 2.2% this month, down from 2.6% in July. The pace of consumer price increases is now close to the 2% goal set by the European Central Bank, which may be about to start cutting interest rates. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We'll be in the low 80s on the afternoon high, cloudy skies with a cold front dropping into the area. More rain and thunderstorms are expected for the overnight hours. We'll be in the mid-60s. Showers and thunderstorms popping up again through the day on Saturday. It looks like we'll stay fairly cool in the mid-80s. Just scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Labor Day, and partly sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
This lot is hot. The pre-Labor Day sale is on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet with red-hot deals across the lot on an amazing selection of vehicles, like a 2020 Kia Optima priced under $19,000, now just $299 a month, or a 2018 Ford Escape just $239 a month. Or blaze ahead with the all-new 2025 Chevy Trax Active, just $379 a month, or a 2024 Chevy Equinox LT marked down to just $289 a month. The pre-Labor Day Bash, on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet, 2155 South Canal.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla Español.
The perfect pair of glasses is a lot closer than you think. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs is now accepting new patients 5 and up. The Eyesight accepts all VSP vision plans for full contact lens and glasses, as well as Medicare, Davis, and more. Designer frames from Maui Gyms, Oakley, and so much more. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs offers complete eye care, including pre- and post-cataract and LASIK, as well as glaucoma testing. The perfect pair is waiting for you at the Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, or Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight. Do you love your car? Yes. Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing available regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 3 years of free oil changes. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And that's going to do it for us. Don't forget football tonight, 6 p.m. kickoff right here on 106.5 and video at ksvptv.com. Have an amazing Labor Day weekend. We'll be back with a brand new show on Tuesday. We'll have a CBS Labor Day special in its place on Monday. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, and thanks for allowing us to be a part.